to the rat house, baby, where the truth ain't quiet, and neither are you. Where the CHATRATS crew slide in, pull up a seat, crime talk, cold facts, and a jazzy backbeat. We got stories to tell, got some justice to serve, so pour up that coffee or something with a swerve. There's Rat Daddy leading 6'5", a cool Toys the Queen with the sharpest of tools. Dean's cracking jokes, Mary B's got the tea, and Lawleen lays the law down, real boss energy. MJ's got the fire, Gingy's taking names, Cassie's dropping Angel Baby's in the game. The clerk's keeping order, Misty's watching close. Pinky promises, keeps receipts, and she does the most. We're the CHATRATS, baby, worldwide and bold. Stories unfold while the crime scene gets cold. Puff, puff, pass, and the truth gets exposed. At the rat house, baby, that's how it goes. Snap, snap. Cherry lights it up. Sherry lights it up, neon glow behind her head. Tombstones drops the facts that awake the dead. Connor's taking notes, Janine's on the clock. Petty the paralegal keeps the court on lock. Sweet woman, sweet, but she'll sting if you like. Calypso keeps it cool, got that island vibe. Prince Lover's in purple, that Texas pride glowing. Sherry's laughing loud while the facts keep flowing. Bum, 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 bum. Da-da-bum, da-da-bum, ghetto. OG coming through, crazy eye cheese, oh you better believe. Robo-rat clicks, sparks, gears in his head, breaking the code till the lies drop dead. Jump, jump. We're the CHATRATS, baby, worldwide and bold. Stories unfold while the crime scene gets cold. Puff, puff, pass, and the truth gets exposed. At the rat house, baby, that's how it goes. Crime solving cracks. World's our stage. That's a fact. Together, we're the CHATRATS crew. We ain't looking back.
Bam. What's up, CHATRATS people, newcomers, rewatchers, and everybody else that I forgot to mention. I am Danny Thomas, and this is Rat House Media, whatever that is. What's up, Mary B?
Hey.
Super horny again.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, he's that guy. Got to be the pregnancy.
Yeah.
Pregnancy.
Yeah,
So,
no. Not me.
Sunday fun day.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Oh, sorry for being late. Super Gay and Steve always together.
Yeah, it's weird.
Got a funny feeling Gary Ziola will be here soon. Just a guess. Just a guess. At least they're here. Nice.
Yeah, that's fine. We'll take the like, please. Don't forget to hit the like.
Mm-hmm. So we got a bunch of stuff to watch.
Nice.
But first, we're gonna watch this. This is hilarious. Second. First, we're going to watch this. Hold on to your seats, Mary B.
Nice.
What's up, CHATRATS? Welcome to another installment of Rat House Media. I'm Nick, whatever that is.
You're a loser, guy.
Danny,
Connor's trying to get your attention.
All right. So I had to watch it first. It's like Dean sends you something. You're just gonna play it.
You don't
It's
trust
just-
Dean or Connor?
Oh.
Come on.
I fucking promise you that.
Oh my sweet Jesus. That's rad.
Throw in this fucking lake. Is what's gonna happen. No, fuck you both. This is fucking bullshit.
Ernie's got a heart of gold, but what an intimidator.
Fucking try about it. I'm going to fucking try about it. You fucking pussy. Let's fucking go, man. Hey, I fucking told you. You want another one too?
Guy.
Stay down.
I got it all on record. Hey. Come on, man.
That's not embarrassing in front of an audience like this.
Get out!
Oh,
Hey, hey. Hey, hey. Enough!
He'll say when it's enough, big boy.
oh my God.
Ouch town population, you bro.
Fuck out of here! No, it's not gonna go well. It's not okay. Take him home or get him fucking out of here. Fucking get moving! I said stop looking like an idiot!
Joni loves Chachi.
Look at that form. That left arm way out is unusual style. Wow.
Beautiful.
Right off the bat.
He delivers on the goods. Look at him pump up this crowd.
And the guy's like, he must be like, listen, what do you think I'm trying to do? You chucklehead.
Do you even watch the freaking show, Lolene?
So Connor made that.
That's awesome. Great job, Connor.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Pretty cool. It's funny as shit.
Yeah, it is.
I gotta play the first one more time.
Okay.
Hold on. 'Cause that-
What's up, CHATRATS? Welcome to another installment of Rat House Media. I'm Danny Thomas, whatever that is.
You're a loser, guy.
Danny.
What's the brother's name? I can never remember.
oh God.
Is it
I
Sam
can't
or something? Sam or Steph?
I can't remember now.
What's up, CHATRATS? Welcome to another installment of Rat House Media. I'm Danny Thomas, whatever that is.
You're a loser, guy.
Oh my God.
That's good.
Thank you, clerk. I knew someone would know.
Somebody would know. That's fucking hilarious.
Say
hi,
Fiona.
Hello, Fiona. Hello, Fiona.
Just like put me down.
All right. Let me go back to this.
So what are we covering today?
We are going to do a bunch of Donna Adelson. Hold on, I'm
Nice.
trying to find something.
Please don't put your butt in the camera, Fiona. Jesus.
Fiona.
That is not appropriate.
Jesus, Fiona.
She don't give a fuck.
Donna Adelson, then the sheriff who shot the judge, and then I've been watching the Christopher Wolfenbarger with Baker, so I figured we'd do some of that. Got some opening statements and like a little documentary video of the whole thing. So
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm excited. Sounds like some interesting stuff.
it is. If we can get anybody to leave Glare. I was gonna do it earlier, but as soon as I posted it, he posted his.
Well, it's good because everyone's like already kind of in the mood for live, so they'll all just jump over here when they're done. He's
Yeah.
got to be finishing up soon. He's been on for a while.
Yeah, I tried to give him plenty of time.
You did.
Plenty of time. What's up, Joe Biffle?
Hey, Joe.
So we'll just get into this Donna Adelson stuff. This is kind of rumors that they had offered her a plea deal or something like that if she would turn on Wendy.
In the case against Donna Adelson. Her defense is reacting to reports that she turned down a plea deal in exchange for her daughter, Wendy, in terms of the prosecution, but her defense is now confirming to Court TV that that is, quote, not accurate. Donna Adelson was reportedly, according to one of our Court TV guests who has experience there in Tallahassee and sources there, that she was offered a deal of, quote, time served if she implicated her daughter, Wendy Adelson, in the murder of Wendy's ex-husband, Dan Mark.
Appreciate it, Jermaine.
Kell, and those sources told Tim Jansen that Donna turned down that deal, meaning this is still going ahead to trial. Jansen broke that news yesterday on Vinnie Politan Investigates, rather, here on Court TV, also on Surviving the Survivor podcast. Let's take a listen back to that moment before we talk about it.
I wanted to break this. This is something I just heard from a very good source. Donna was offered a plea deal of time served if she gave up Wendy.
Whoa.
And she turned it down. And this is inside the courthouse. She was offered, someone said, maybe give her a deal. They said, no. She was offered time served if she would give Wendy, because of her age. She turned it down.
Unreal. You guys are hearing that first anywhere, I think, but here on Surviving the Survivor.
All right, now again, that was Tim Jansen on Surviving the Survivor. Longtime attorney, has a lot of sources that he has been able to confirm information. But today, the defense team for Donna Adelson saying that it's not accurate, and the prosecution saying they can't confirm or deny that when Court TV contacted them about whether or not this happened. Now, keep in mind, the background on this story is Donna Adelson is accused of plotting with her son, Charlie, to arrange the murder of her former son-in-law, FSU professor Dan Markell. Charlie Adelson is currently serving life in prison for his role in the murder. And Donna Adelson is currently awaiting that trial that starts on August 19th. So again, the update there is that according to this, about this deal, neither side is confirming to Court TV that it actually happened. Let's bring in for discussion on this topic. We have National Trial Attorney Michael Jafer with us. Michael, I know you know this story very well. You know, we have to get the official record on things, and we have not been able to confirm that.
Isn't this the guy that we watched? Who did it? Was it Turtle Boy or was it Glare? Because he is a AKR.
Yes,
Remember,
he definitely is an AKR, but I can't remember exactly what he did that pissed me off. But I look at his face and I kind of want to punch it. So I know he's
Stamos is a fast typer. He types really fast.
Yeah, whoa. You probably had that
with the two.
He's probably got
copy
that.
and pasted.
Yeah, for sure. Just got to change Mary B out. Yeah, clerk. That's what I'm afraid.
Parties who would know, but do you think they would tell us if there was a deal? And how do these deals usually work? Is it explicit? Is it emailed? Or is it something that's a little bit more nuanced?
Well, it definitely is not emailed for sure. It's usually in person. I believe everybody's telling the truth. I believe that it makes sense. The person who broke it would have no reason to lie and ruin his reputation. And it seems to me like this is something that the state would do, because I know that the state hates Wendy, the daughter. I know they hate her. And I know that I said on a prior episode of Court TV that she's like in that movie, where at the end of the day, the character Kaiser Sose was manipulating everybody and seemed like he was a person who had a learning disability. But at the end of the movie, he turned out to be the mastermind who manipulated everybody. I said that that's Wendy Adelson, right? She's the person who manipulated everybody. It just was bizarre when she had that interview, when she was being taped, when she was talking to the police and saying, it must be somebody in my family. It has to be. I don't see how it's not. So I think the state hates her. I think the state thinks that she took them for a ride. So it would make sense that they would offer her mother a plea to implicate her, because how salacious would that be if she manipulated the state? She tried to get away from it. Her own mom implicated her, and the state put her in jail for the rest of her life. I mean, Donna Adelson was 75 years old. She's not going to let, a life sentence for her would not be as impactful as getting Wendy. I think the state definitely wants Wendy. So it would make sense that the state would say we can neither confirm or deny. And it would make sense that the defense would say that's not accurate, because you could say it honestly that it's technically not accurate. They technically didn't offer a plea. Because what if they just floated a plea and then the defense attorney shot it down? Defense attorneys and prosecutors talk a lot before a trial is struck up. They talk a ton. So it would make sense. I believe it. And we'll see what happens.
Yeah, if it was true, it would suggest.
Yeah, that guy's a weirdo.
I think it's his pointy beard, but he looks like a Disney villain.
Definitely does. Beelzebub. All right, so this is State Attorney Jack Campbell, and he's replying to that little rumor.
Donna Adelson's long-awaited trial is set to kick off in just under 2 weeks. She has her final pretrial hearing on Friday, but that's not all the developments taking place in this case this week.
I would like to start with the latest that you've been dealing with in terms of the Adelson trial pertaining to rumors of a plea deal.
It's just totally unfounded and untrue. No such plea offer has been extended.
State Attorney Jack Campbell firmly denying any plea negotiations for Donna Adelson. Adelson is accused of orchestrating a murder-for-hire plot in Tallahassee, which led to the death of her former son-in-law, Florida State professor Dan Markell, in 2014. Reports that Adelson had been offered a plea deal of time served if she testified against her daughter and Markell's ex-wife, Wendy Adelson, were first reported on the podcast Surviving the Survivor. Adelson's attorney, Joshua Zellman, also confirmed to me in an email that no offer was made by the state to Mrs. Adelson.
Do you expect this rumor to have any impact on that jury selection?
So I don't think that dress is tight enough. Can barely see her thoughts.
Well, that's my concern, and that's why the ethical rules allow on pretrial publicity for corrections of things like this, and that's why I so quickly wanted to come out and correct it.
I spoke with criminal defense lawyer Dan Pumphrey Jr. with Pumphrey Law, who has been following this case. He doesn't believe Judge Everett, who's over this case, will let these rumors have any impact on jury.
They're going to vet that jury, and they're going to want to make sure on both sides that the plea negotiations are not going to affect the panel.
Campbell says he still expects the case to go to trial. That will begin August 19th.
Obviously, we don't know how long the jury will deliberate, but I would expect it to be done in 3 weeks.
A reminder that Donna Adelson's final pretrial hearing is Friday. That's set to begin at 9 a.m. in downtown Tallahassee.
All right, next
Yeah,
up, we
British and Florida just doesn't sound right.
yeah. Well, next up, we got her last hearing. This was like a week ago, 9 days ago. Law and Crime. I don't know if they're playing it all the way through the best parts, or if anybody's commentating. I watched some of it. Looks like just straight hearing. So this is the last one. Trial starts soon. Nice. Gingy's back. What's up, Gingy? Connor, there's your redhead right there.
Hey, Gingy.
Yeah, Mary B's admirer is back. That's all right. He brought his 9 personalities with him.
Here this morning in State versus Donna Adelson, 2023 CF 3226. For the final pretrial hearing this morning, we're going to address all of the outstanding motions and also some matters pertaining to the trial, which is still scheduled for the selection of the jury starting on August 19th. The parties can make their appearances for the record.
Georgia Kappelman for the state.
Jackie Fulton for Mrs. Adelson.
Joshua Zellman for Mrs. Adelson. I believe we have several defense motions to address. Ms. Kappelman, the state has not filed any additional motions in limine that have not already been addressed by the court.
That's correct, Your Honor.
All right. Let's start then with the motion in limine concerning the court file relating to the dissolution of marriage. Mr. Zellman.
Thank you, Your Honor. Your Honor, as is my custom, I lay it out in motion. It's our position that the vast majority of the court file, even with the court taking judicial notice, is inadmissible. It's irrelevant. Paragraph 7 of my motion provides a somewhat comprehensive list of the items that are in there that have no bearing, have no relevance, are not material in any way to this case. And so we're asking that, aside from very limited number of items that the state can establish has relevance and is not barred by hearsay, we're asking the court exclude that file.
Ms. Kappelman, which parts of this file is the state seeking to admit as a part of its case in chief?
The entirety.
Right. As to the items that deal with, as identified in paragraph 7 of the motion, what exactly would be the relevance first, and what is your argument as to hearsay?
For relevance, Judge, it goes to the motive, the level of intensity of this litigation, the volume of the paperwork suggests that it was very litigious and went on for some time. The words that are used are strong, even hateful, and this was a cause that was adopted by the defendant, as the emails evidence will show. So it's important for the jury to understand the foundation of this motive is this litigation that began with the divorce, continued beyond the divorce with the child custody issues that developed later.
All right. So in part, the volume of what occurred over the divorce proceedings, you want the jury to recognize this goes to motive in some way.
Yes, Your Honor. In reference to hearsay, the items are not being offered for the truth of the matter asserted. There obviously was a litigious divorce, but it's being offered to show the effect on Ms. Adelson. These items were shared with her. The evidence intends to show she was very involved in the pleadings. She was sent the pleadings and offered detailed responses for how Mrs. Wendy Adelson should respond to the pleadings. So it's very bound up in the state's theory of the motive for the case.
All right. Mr. Zellman, as to your client's emails to her daughter as this litigation is going on, are these contested in any way?
With respect to the initial...
All right, since Gingy's here, I got to do this again. I got to do it again. This is...
What's up, CHATRATS? Welcome to another installment of Rat House Media. I'm Danny Thomas, whatever that is.
You're a loser, guy. Danny, Connor's trying to get your attention.
All right, so I had to watch it first. It's like Dean sends you something. You're just going to play it.
You don't
That's
trust
true.
Dean or Connor?
Oh.
Come on.
Oh, you're not a tough guy. Hurry up. I'll fucking promise you that.
Oh, my sweet Jesus.
That's right. Throw in this fucking lake. What's going to happen? No, fuck you both. This is fucking bullshit.
Ernie's got a heart of gold, but what an intimidator.
Fucking try about it. I'm going to fucking try about it. You fucking pussy. Let's fucking go, man. Hey, fucking told you. You want another? You want one too?
Guy.
Stay down.
I got it all on record. Bang! Bang! Come on, man. Bang!
That's kind of embarrassing in front of an audience like this.
Get out! Hey, hey.
Oh, that's my favorite part.
Hey, hey. Enough!
He'll say when it's enough, big boy.
Oh my God.
Ouchtown population, you, bro! Fuck out of here! No, it's not gonna go well. It's not okay. Take him home or get him fucking out of here. Fucking get moving! I said stop looking like an idiot! Joni loves Chachi!
Look at that form. That left arm way out is unusual style.
Wow, beautiful. Right off the bat. He delivers on the goods. Look at him pump up this crowd.
And the guy's like, he must be like, listen, what do you think I'm trying to do, you chucklehead?
Do you even watch the freaking show, Lolene?
I love how it closes with Dean yelling.
Yeah, I like it. It's awesome. It's awesome. That's why Connor needs to stay involved.
100%.
However, in reviewing the emails, the post-dissolution matters that were filed by Mr. Markell, there's no evidence in those emails that those pleadings were shared with Mrs. Adelson. And so certainly, if the state's theory is that it goes to the motive, and that's the way of getting around hearsay, they have to establish that the pleadings were sent to them. My review of the emails show that did not happen. So they can't go to show my client's motive if she didn't receive them.
Right, as to any pleadings that correspond with emails or communications that were made by the defendant and otherwise demonstrate her role in or some part in the divorce case, as to those, I believe they are admissible. The pleadings themselves, if they're being offered not for the truth of the matter asserted,
Itself in its entirety to demonstrate the bulk.
between the defendant and specific aspects of the divorce file, what is your argument concerning it?
I mean, there are pleadings in there that are not necessary to show the motive, but I did offer the exhibit itself in its entirety to demonstrate the bulk. If Your Honor is not inclined to allow those pieces of paper that cannot be directly connected to the defendant, may I be permitted to show the exhibit as a demonstrative to the witness to verify that that is the entirety of the divorce file?
It is permitted as a demonstrative. You may also ask questions that generally deal with the amount of filings and also the volume of the case, but ultimately as to responses for production or mediator notices, I'm inclined to agree with defense as to that point. If there's not either a relevant connection or a nexus between the defendant's actions and the more clearly in the dissolution of marriage case, all of it does not come in as substantive evidence. But I do have to make clear on this point, Mr. Zellman, as to what the witnesses will testify to, and none of us will know this until the evidence actually begins. This file can be used for purposes of impeachment, and it can also be used for purposes of rebuttal. Depending on what the witnesses say, what might be not a part of the state's case in chief may still be available to them through other means that are permitted by the rules of evidence. Is everyone clear on this?
Yes, sir.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, let's move on to the motion of limine concerning the testimony of Sarah Youssef. Mr. Zellman.
Again, Your Honor, we stand on the motion.
Ms. Cobb, in response.
I would just ask Your Honor to reserve on her. The state has no intention of calling her, so I don't think, unless that changes, that there's any reason to address her testimony at this time.
Well, I assume you are going to leave Ms. Youssef available as a rebuttal witness if necessary.
Yes.
If the witness is not going to be called, it essentially moves the issue. On that point, Mr. Zellman, the state is not committing to calling this witness. If they do call them at that time, I will issue a ruling concerning a motion limiting.
Yes, sir.
As to any purpose of rebuttal, ultimately what comes out as a part of the defense case, Ms. Youssef still is able to testify in that capacity. Right, the next motion limiting concerning the testimony of Stephen Webster.
Oh my God. Sounds horrible, doesn't it? Does it sound bad to you, Mary B?
Oh, yes. The judge's mic.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
Oh my God, that's horrible.
Does this have captions?
Yep.
That might help.
But he does offer some relevant points, so I think I should be permitted to, I don't know, these motions kind of blow my mind because it's like we want to pre-litigate every statement, including potentially objectionable statements that can be addressed during the trial by proper timely objection. So I would ask that it be handled in that way.
Right, concerning the testimony of Mr. Webster in his capacity of representing the deceased certainly can testify factually as to what his involvement was with the divorce case. And also he may testify concerning the nature of the proceedings as to any opinions that go beyond that.
Yeah, that's bad. I wonder why it's doing that.
Response on that topic, Mr. Zellman.
Just looking at his previous testimony. I'll quote from page 1067 of the trial transcript.
Now, with regard to undercover or the former undercover agent.
Ugh, he sounds like a robot.
Yeah, I think it's definitely his mic. They need to get that fixed before the trial because
That's gonna suck if that's the whole trial like that.
Hey, Janine.
We'll skip.
Yo, Mary B, my brother. What's
What up?
up?
Bestie?
Did you see
What's
the
up,
video?
bestie? What's that?
Did you see the video I just played?
I just caught the tail end of it. I was making the pizza. I just put the pizza in the oven. So I'm very excited. Yeah, quick rise dough, but it is what it is. I haven't eaten anything all day. No, could you give me a distillation of it? This is
that's not-
Adelson, right? When is this from?
No, he means the video Connor made.
No. Can you replay it? I'm on my new phone. I may have to switch at some point to the iPad, but I'm okay for now. I don't have Wednesday. I don't have anything. But yeah, lay it on me.
Here we go.
What's up, chat rats? Welcome to another installment of Rat House Media. I'm Danny Thomas, whatever that is.
You're a loser, guy. Danny, Connor's trying to get your attention.
All right. So I had to watch it first.
I love it. Lauleen. Where is she?
You don't
That's
trust
true.
Dean or Connor? Come on.
You're not a tough guy. Hurry up. I'll fucking promise you that.
Oh, my sweet Jesus.
That's rad. Throw in this fucking lake. Is what's gonna happen. No, fuck you both. This is fucking bullshit.
And he's got a heart of gold, though. What an intimidator.
Fucking try I'm going to fucking try You fucking pussy. Let's fucking go, man. Hey, fucking told you. You want another? You want one too? At me, guy.
Stay down.
I got it all on record. Bang! Bang! Come on, man. Bang!
That's kind of embarrassing in front of an audience like this.
Head out! Hey, hey. Hey, hey.
What does that mean? Like, this is so weird.
He'll say when it's enough, big boy.
It's weird. Oh my God.
Ouch down, population, you, bro. Fuck out of here. No, it's not gonna go well. It's not okay. Take him home or get him fucking out of here. Fucking get moving. I said stop looking like an idiot. Joni loves Chachi.
Look at that form. That left arm way out is unusual style.
Wow, beautiful. Right off the bat. He delivers on the goods. Look at him pump up this crowd.
And the guy's like, he must be like, listen, what do you think I'm trying to do? You chucklehead.
Do you even watch the freaking show, Lauleen?
Dean, where are you, Dean? I love the way Lauleen says your name, the way she says Danny. Danny.
Rescue Randy's back. Is it Connor? Because he's giving Connor a compliment.
Yeah, probably so.
Hey, did you see who was in Glara's chat today?
No.
Eddie.
Yes, our sister's back.
Oh.
I know. She needs to come here.
I know. She will. She will. She's easing back in. Maybe it's a lot, like to commit to doing like a stream, and kids are still like, school isn't underway yet, so she's got some shit to do. It was nice to see her though. I was happy to see her.
Oh, Connor, you have a real live band.
I didn't see her, unfortunately.
Well, compared to all of Mary B's fans last night, we had like the Mary B fan club.
Oh, they're all back, and they're all.
Oh, are they? All right, I have to. You know what? I think I
got a poem earlier.
Get out.
Yeah, a nice little poem. All right, next video is
We have to do like the dating game, Rat House Media dating game.
Ooh, sounds fun.
Yeah, it's intriguing, right?
Wash Mom's Subpoena. That's this video.
Hi, next witness.
Mm-hmm.
All right, is your mom
Hey, next witness.
overprotective of you?
Thanks for coming by.
What message? I hadn't seen a message. Where is the message at? Tell me where the message is and I'll go read it. I haven't seen it.
Yes. All right. And is it fair to say she's, a little on the controlling side?
I don't think she's controlling, but she's definitely overprotective.
That was Wendy Adelson testifying at her brother Charlie's murder trial. Now it appears she doesn't want Another shot on the stand during Mom's trial. We're just days away from jury selection in the matriarch mastermind murder trial for Donna Adelson. Wendy Adelson's.
Oh, she comments on the videos. Which one did you comment on? Next witness. I hadn't gotten any notifications yet, so I hadn't seen it.
Attorneys have filed a motion
R.I.P.
to quash her
Dan
subpoena
Markel.
to testify and
Poor guy.
instead allow Wendy to place a statement on the record regarding the subpoena. She's testified in 3 trials related to the murder of her ex-husband, Dan Markel. But here's why her previous testimony cannot be used against her.
Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be true? You may see.
Wendy Adelson has never been charged in her ex-husband Dan Markel's murder, but she's testified in 3 trials that ended with the convictions of her brother Charlie, his ex-girlfriend, and her ex-boyfriend. In exchange, Wendy received a specific form of immunity.
And are you here today pursuant to a subpoena?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, and that subpoena confers use and derivative use immunity to you, so nothing you say can be used against you in the future.
That is correct.
That doesn't mean you have full immunity from prosecution, but nothing you say here and nothing derived from it could be used in that prosecution. Is that your understanding?
That is my understanding.
While those courtroom statements can't be used against her to develop new evidence, prosecutors do have her police interview. The only one other time Wendy spoke to authorities about her ex-husband's death.
We'll definitely play it. You need to hold on. You need to join our Discord. Then you can just send me stuff, and I can play it.
Yes.
So give me 1 second.
So not to change the subject, but I was just in Glara's chat. So Teebs came in. And
Oh, he did?
Glara was like, yeah, I'll have BLTL or LTL. I'll have him up. And Total Boy's like, yeah, let's fucking do it. I'm going to text him now. And then I left. So I have no idea what happened, but spicy. That could be,
boy.
yeah. We may have to snipe that stream, brother. I don't think Glara would give a shit, though. I don't think he would care.
I don't think he would either.
No, I know.
I don't think
There's
we're
a
mad.
supporter.
We care.
Oh, yeah, for real, for real.
But we can keep check on it. Discord is super easy, Next Witness. And it's kind of like backstage for this YouTube. You'll like it. You'll like it. Pippi Longstockings. Oh no. No idea who that is. Could be.
Oh, you don't know who Pippi Longstocking is? That was like a there's a book series.
Oh, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about that person.
Who's the person? That's
Oh.
yeah, she had the pigtails that were like
Yeah, red hair and pigtails. Is that the wait?
That's
Um,
John Stamos, aka Gary Zarola.
That's the profile pic.
Yeah.
That's I know who that is. Yep. We'll play it. Just download Discord. You'll see. It's easy.
Well, before we get into everything, I have to establish where you were and who you were with and so forth. Okay?
Wendy was questioned by police hours after the father of her 2 sons was found shot and critically injured at his home. When asked about their divorce in 2013, she called the relationship contentious.
Danny didn't treat me very well, and I'm so scared that maybe someone did this. Not because they hate Danny, but because they thought this was good somehow.
Would you ever ask someone to do something like this?
Not in a million years.
Okay. Do you think someone would do this for your benefit without asking you?
No.
Moments later, she oddly mentioned her older brother, Charlie, raising some red flags.
He makes a lot of jokes in bad taste. He said, I looked into hiring a hitman and it was cheaper to get you this TV, so instead I got you this TV.
Her comments led police to push for more answers about the Adelson family.
Next witness, that is funny. It's easy. Plus, there's a lot of cool people. It's all cool people in our Discord, so a bunch of cool stuff.
Does anybody? Yes, we're all cool for sure.
Yeah.
Consensus is that we're all cool. But listen, I just need an opinion. The picture of it must have been the practice that they were, because they're dentists. The idiot, he was a successful, handsome dentist. I think that Charlie Adelson was really handsome. I mean, he's a prison ratchet now, but I mean, who agrees with me?
Like in this picture?
No, not in the prior picture. Danny, could you go back like 30 seconds? It's when he's in like his dental scrubs. He's a handsome guy. I'll send it. If I see it, I'll send it to the Discord.
So wait, Charlie is a dentist?
Charlie, and wasn't Donna Adelson as well, or the husband? I think it's like a family practice. I could be wrong. Does the chat know about that?
Jesus, it's Pat. Now we got another troll.
He is so good looking. I don't know if Pat is fucking with me or not, but I think he was good looking.
Because Pat is
Diane G. Hey, missed ya. Rubicon. Hey, it's Pat.
To push for more answers about the Adelson family.
Somebody tried to kill my ex-husband. They should be prosecuted to the full extent of the law.
Regardless of who it is.
I mean, it would be different if I thought it were my brother, but I don't think it was my family. I'm gonna call my parents. And they're very angry with him, right? Like, well, this isn't like it's their son, but he's the father of my kids. And this is a very part of my language up situation.
Wendy's fourth time testifying is for her mother Donna's trial. Tallahassee attorney Stephen Webster, who represented Dan Markell before his death, testified at Charlie Adelson's trial and has closely followed the case.
I do believe the state is going to ultimately charge Wendy. I don't see any new evidence that has been developed based upon Wendy's testimonies, compelled testimony. So I'm really not concerned at all about any derivative use challenges should she ultimately be prosecuted.
All right, so let's talk.
What's up, Rubicon?
Rubicon.
So anyway, Janine, what I'm saying is that it's Pat, John Stamos, and four people, Gary and Steve. They're all the same person.
Oh, okay. But Gary is not Gary that I met. Your buddy Gary? Mary?
Oh, no, definitely
Not Mary from not Mary. Mary from the courthouse. Of course you're Mary from the courthouse. I meant Gary.
Yeah, no, this is a different person.
Oh, okay.
We don't want the troll. We don't want them to spam us. See what I'm saying?
Yeah, because it keeps on looking like there's a new person in the chat, and then it's not.
Yeah.
That's
right.
Disappointing.
And only nice things about our Mary B.
Yes, please.
Anyways, I just don't want to get spammed to death. Please, Gary, John,
Super Gay.
About this with the man. He's the host of Surviving the Survivor. Joel Waldman is with us. You got an Adelson question. You talk to Joel. He'll set you straight. What's your take on her not wanting to testify at Donna's trial?
Man, where do I start? Let me start with that police interview. I mean, I've seen it so many times, but just watching it now with you, Ted. I mean, just imagine yourself going to a police interview, being accused of something, and you say, "Well, if someone in my family did it, I don't want them to be prosecuted to the full extent." I mean, who says that unless you know that your family is involved in this? You would never say that. I mean. She doesn't even seem the least bit, stunned or surprised by it. But we broke the news late Wednesday night that basically John Laura, and I apologize, I'm coming off laryngitis, so I sound a little like Darth Vader here. But John Laura, her attorney, who's a very, very good defense attorney, he came out and filed a motion basically saying, look, my client needs to quash the defense subpoena. And immediately, everyone is asking themselves, what is going on here? Is the Adelson family now literally disintegrating? Are they cannibalizing each other? It appears that Wendy is looking out for Wendy before her brother, before her mother, and kind of just leaving them in the dust. And to me, it's no real surprise. It's just a sad state of affairs.
Do you think, when you do listen to Wendy and she's sort of just freewheeling it, she's thinking about it, well, maybe to your point, she's connecting the dots that this could be my family. This is hours after the murders. Does it kind of help her in a weird way in terms of you can see her head spinning and the thoughts going, meaning she might not have had a heads up that, hey, we're gonna go kill Danny on your behalf. Charlie's gonna do it. Mom's engineering this. Is it possible that she didn't know? Because a lot of people it's tough to get your head around, your family killing your ex and you didn't know about it.
Yeah, well, I think anyone with a rational mind would probably think, hey, I would never imagine my family doing this, but there's so many things that are lining up. And it's my contention. We argued this on my show, Surviving the Survivor, last night. And most of the people who I've talked to believe that she will be the next in line. She will be indicted. She will be charged. She will be arrested. With that, we had Nima Rahmani on, a great attorney. And he said he doesn't think that's going to happen. Yeah, so there's been a lot of debate over this. But, she had this Best Buy Geek Squad there, which was sort of an alibi that morning. And she goes and throws her brother under the bus, saying that he's making this joke about a hitman would cost less than a TV repairman. So there are all these outstanding things. And then in that police interview that you were just watching, which I had honestly forgotten about till I watched it again the other day, she calls her mother at one point on her cell phone. And it's obviously all being recorded because it's in the police interview room. And it wasn't like, hey, Mom, this is what happened. And she's frantic. She's with Craig Isom, the detective. There's a lot of moments where she's hysterical. When she's on the phone with her mother, she's completely calm. And it's almost like letting her know that the job was done and that there's a problem because Dan isn't dead. Because, for those who do not know, he was shot twice in the head back on July 18th, 2014, but he didn't succumb to his injuries till the next day. And the way she phrases it, if you watch that video, to me, it's appalling. It's like she's giving Donna the heads up that the job was done, but it wasn't completed. And I just think there's enough smoke around Wendy and enough circumstantial evidence that they're going to nail her. Nima doesn't agree with me, but other defense attorneys
do.
I
think Georgia Kappelman has strategically started with the hitman, then gets Mac Benoit, then Charlie, now Donna, and you think Wendy's the last to go. What about Harvey? Is he in the mix?
Well, all you have to do with Harvey is ask my mom, who's on the logo behind me. She's my co-host emerita. My mother's 86 years old. And from day one, she has said that Harvey's involved. This is a highly enmeshed family. Rob, the son, is estranged, so he's not really part of the mix. Everyone else just can't stop talking to each other. Harvey was sort of the silent assassin, if you will, but he was the money man, and they were paying off the middle woman. I mean, this story.
Hello, Mary Brown. Another Mary in the chat that I don't think is Stuart.
Yeah, I think this is a real person because we don't know anymore.
Welcome, Mary. You know who we haven't seen? I was thinking about Mary Hugs Whitcomb.
She's in the morning. I saw her earlier today, and
oh, okay. Yeah, I'm not a morning person, but give her a hug for me, please, when you see her.
Absolutely.
It's so convoluted for those who don't know, but it's got everything. It's got hitmen. It's got Ferrari driving ex-brother-in-laws. It has boob jobs. I mean, you name it. It's a Miami and North Florida story. And there's no doubt in my mind that Harvey knew what was going on. One quick thing too, Ted. There was another motion that was filed last night. Apparently, there's some jailhouse informants that are willing to squeal on Donna ahead of the trial. Now the defense filed a motion in limine saying, hey, don't let this woman, Dorena Bernhardt or Patricia Bird, and in another one talk. We got to suppress the evidence and see what the judge does with that.
Oh, all right. Can't wait. Nice way to sell.
The next one is whether or not Wendy might catch some charges. Because I think everybody wants her to catch some charges.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah,
Yep.
everybody wants her to catch a few charges.
I just want her to catch charges so that she goes on trial because I want to see the full story with her, you know?
Yeah.
Yes.
Hispanic male, for it's probably the same guy from yesterday. You might see them making out and stuff. You're in for a show.
It's been a long trial, so you are entitled.
Well, I'm a domestic coordinator.
We now meet Donna Adelson from Coral Springs, Florida. I want to hear all about you, Donna. Let's go.
Well, I'm a domestic coordinator. Domestic coordinator.
There's.
Is she originally from New York? That sounds like a very New York lady.
It definitely does. And
I have to
what
look that lady up. Yeah.
What is her job? She's a domestic coordinator.
Coordinator?
Coordinator.
Coordinator.
So that means she's a housewife. I mean, like, not that there's anything wrong with that.
Not that
but,
there's
like,
anything wrong with it, but just say that, you know. And
don't
at
make
that
it
time,
extreme.
it was acceptable. It was, housewife, homemaker, and then what did it? Oh, stay-at-home mom. That was the one when I was doing it, stay-at-home mom. And I was like, what?
Cherry.
Okay, whatever. Hey, Cherry.
Hi, Cherry.
Yes.
She is the boss, Donna Sue Adelson, appearing on the
Oh,
show
she
Wheel
is.
of Fortune,
No fooling.
explaining to the world that she's a domestic coordinator from Coral Springs, Florida. Let's watch.
A domestic coordinator.
Coordinator, yes. I'm responsible for the activities, classes, and lessons of my son Robert, who is 16,
That's the entire Adelson clan with Robert there on the left.
Charlie, who is 12.
Growing up, what was your family like?
It was pretty normal. I was the middle of 3 children. My dad was a dentist. My mom was a school teacher.
Of course you were.
Not a school teacher, Charlie boy. She was a domestic coordinator.
Played a lot of sports. Pretty normal upbringing.
Wendy, who is 10.
Wendy Adelson. Wendy Adelson. Wendy Adelson.
This sweet angel, of course, is Donna Sue's daughter, Wendy Jill Adelson. This picture shows exactly what she wore at each trial. For the first and second trial, she wore the same exact outfit. She just did her hair a little bit differently. And in the third trial, she finally chose to wear something different, but she decided to straighten her hair. And there's our sweet angel being recorded by the FBI, dropping her kids off at school.
Sweet angel. Yep.
Hispanic male.
Stand by. I got people in a car on the way right now.
So for it's probably the same guy from yesterday. You might see them making out and stuff.
Based upon the FBI surveillance videos, we've come to learn that Wendy Jill prefers Latino men, and multiple times the agents caught her making out with various brown men throughout the years.
He's fucking hilarious. And he's really good at making these videos and shit. Must be
Yeah,
nice.
he is. He's funny.
Very
Teebs,
well.
Teebs has played him in his lives before, right?
No.
I think.
This is
Yeah.
the first time I've seen him, and these are really good explanations, and they're funny.
Yeah, but he's good at making videos, and then he makes the video, and then he commentates on his own video. So that's got to be
Yeah.
like extra level of satisfaction.
Right.
Because
Welcome to the weakest link.
When I was little, I wanted to be a giraffe.
Is there anything else you've ever dreamed of?
Well, I was in the circus for a while.
That's our sweet angel following in Donna Sue's footsteps, appearing on a game show, The Weakest Link.
As a contortionist.
My husband Harvey, who's in the audience.
And there's Harvey sitting in the audience at Donna's last court appearance.
Harvey the enabler.
And there's the boss getting arrested as she tried to board a flight to Saudi Arabia to eventually go to Vietnam. And like a boss, she didn't allow those officers to grab her phone.
Please, can I go?
Oh, don't do this, please.
Please.
Oh,
Somebody's got
God.
to help him get home. This is
Can you
terrible.
imagine the nerve of this woman?
And always the good soldier, Harvey was begging to go with Donna Sue, but the cops wouldn't allow him.
He always gets these shit-eating grin looks on.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. Almost made it, guys. Almost. Not quite.
And there it is, the final kiss in this beautiful love story.
On 11/6/2023, Donna sends a text to
Pathetic.
Wendy. Your brother protected you for years. Now you are not
Killed your
guilty.
son-in-law.
Your law lawyer took very good care of you. You can bury me in the dress that I bought for Lincoln's bar mitzvah.
The mental lawyer has a YouTube channel and has been covering this case for years. They obtained the text messages sent from Donna Sue after old Charlie Boy was found guilty.
This text from Donna is the most incriminating, according to mentor lawyer. The sentence, your brother protected you for years, in context, can be interpreted to mean that Donna Adelson knows that the extortion defense Charlie testified about at trial is false. This suggests that Donna knows or believes that Wendy was involved. This interpretation is buttressed by the next sentence. Now you are not guilty. A fair interpretation of this sentence is that Donna knows that Wendy is complicit. But now...
So... Next witness joined the Discord, but so did #HTTR. Who is that?
I don't know. I don't know.
You have kicked them out authority, though, right?
It's a mystery.
Yeah, but I mean, it's not really doing anything wrong except stalking married.
Yeah, like what do we care? You know,
It's not
we
right.
just goof around and play music, and y'all do your meme wars. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
Who
I
cares?
don't mind having a stalker in there.
Yeah, who cares? Yeah.
As long
I mean,
as
that's
it's
my
not
vote.
pretty all the time, I'm cool with it.
Yeah,
There's
that's
no-
my vote.
basically. But as long as they
Especially if
don't
it's the ghost of Chris Farley. Love
Oh,
Chris
God.
Farley.
Oh yeah,
How many?
Batman in a little coat.
Her story is that she had nothing to do with it, and now that her brother is convicted of the murder,
The defendant is guilty of first-degree murder. Count 2. We, the jury, find as follows: conspiracy to commit first-degree murder. The defendant is guilty of conspiracy to commit first-degree murder.
You
Donna may
idiot.
believe that Wendy will never face justice.
Keep in mind that the mental lawyer, along with many others, including Judy, the YouTube lawyer, believe that Wendy Jill is guilty. So their interpretation of these
Wendy
text
Jill.
messages are a bit biased.
The next phrase, your law lawyer took very good care of you, suggests that Donna believes that Wendy's lawyer took care of her without caring for how what he did to take care of Wendy harmed the other Adelsons. You can bury me in the dress I bought for Lincoln's bar mitzvah.
Because I have a narcissistic Jewish mom, I'm in a special position to interpret this line. This is what we call up here Jewish guilt.
That's fine, next witness. That's fine.
It is an analogous situation.
Yeah,
I
it's
don't know
just,
if you get who Chris Farley is, other than 7 other people now at this point.
oh my God, we got to make a list.
I know. This, please don't spam the channel.
Yeah, you know, it's making me look bad. Can you not do that, please?
Yeah, no, we're not for that. And we're not trying to make Mary B look bad. She's great.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Please
Janine.
don't spam
Of
the
course, my bestie.
The final sentence is reasonably interpreted as Donna trying to make Wendy feel guilty for getting away with it and helping convict her brother, who did do the murder to protect her. At least, according to mentor lawyer, this is how prosecutors will likely argue the meaning of this strong piece of evidence.
Those of you in the Wendy is guilty camp will eventually come to learn that Charlie Boy was acting independently to please the narcissistic mother.
We know you never ask anything about your brother, but we just got off the phone with him, and the first thing he asked was, how's Wendy holding up? I didn't have the heart to tell him that you never called us or asked about you.
Classic narcissistic behavior here. Donna Sue is referring to somebody else, Charlie, but she really means her.
I just said we weren't up to phone calls right now. Everyone looks to protect you. I bet you've got a lot to think about. Wendy responded the following day, Dear Mom, I know you're upset by the verdict.
Dear Mom, I know you are upset by the verdict.
That's Donna Sue reading the text messages to one of her Yenta friends on a phone call for which she thought hung up, but in fact, it was still recording, and it eventually led to her arrest.
But the anger directed at me is not justified. I don't know how much anger, really don't. I'm not responsible in any way for Charlie's situation. I am not guilty because I did not do anything wrong, and I was not involved in any way with Danny's death. When I was interviewed by the police and testified in court, I told the truth, as I was required to do. I cannot control how the prosecutor used my statements at Charlie's trial. Again, I didn't say that. Also, as you know, my lawyer has advised me not to talk to my family or anyone else about this case. No, about the case, which is true. We've never done it. I followed his advice despite your disagreements with this guidance. Please do not text me about this case anymore. Not about the case, is it? Not what I said. About her brother, and that he wants, how are you, Wendy? How's my sister holding up?
This has nothing to do with Charlie Boy. A narcissist needs supplies, people that always agree with her. And the one thing a narcissist cannot stand is when you do not respond to them. A narcissist needs their supply to respond and respond promptly.
If you have anything further to say about
Danny,
the case,
can you respond to me?
through our
Fuck, man, I've been trying to talk to you this whole time and you're not even responding to me.
Hi, Dean.
It's like I need you to respond to me, Danny.
Yo.
What's going on, guys?
What up? Did you see Connor's video?
What's up?
Connor made a video out of one of the streams.
Yeah, I think you played it last night. Or is there a different one?
From today. Your voice ends it.
Oh no.
You yelling.
Nice.
Yeah, it's funny. We'll
Is
play
it
it
good?
again.
All right.
But we passed 200 subscribers.
What? Yeah.
Because freaking some dude in here, or female, male or female.
Oh, you passed 200 subs. I'm gonna have to unsubscribe with all my alts. We can't have you passing 200, man. I'm
Now,
sorry.
there's one person in here. He's subscribed with like all 20 of his alternates. It reminds me of something that happened while we were in the last channel. So I don't know if they're just planning on trolling the shit out of us, which they're already doing, or if they're going to spam the channel.
I thought it was just the same person, just changing their name.
Yeah, but you can report the channel with every fucking name.
Ugh.
I doubt it's that.
Yeah.
I hope not. Because now we're 42 people away.
Danny's like a broken man. He's got like PTSD from the channel.
It was very traumatic. It was a traumatic experience for us all.
Oh, Danny. It's like Vietnam for him, you know? He's like he like wakes up in cold sweats, remembering the stream, the protest. You poor guy.
You wouldn't know if they did, Angel. That's the problem.
Laulene's here.
Lauleen. I'm taking Petty's place with her theme song. Petty, you got to come back. I don't sing anywhere nearly as well as you do.
Yeah, no more beach. Just come back.
Right. No more spending time with that family.
I know. They got enough
Your
time.
rat family needs you. I'm
Yeah.
kidding. She'll be back.
Now Adam Sandler's here.
I love him. You think it's the real one?
I do.
Yeah,
I do.
definitely.
Y'all know I'm an optimist.
I love the new Happy Gilmore, Adam.
So Danny, you're
All
gonna
the
play this
celebrity
video?
camos.
He loves me too. Aw, Adam.
It takes hardly anything for Janine.
Aw. Well, it has to be genuine and sincere, Laleen.
I'm sure that was Janine.
It has to be real love, and I feel it from Adam Sandler, my new boyfriend.
Yeah, let's go back to this, Dean. You're right.
lawyers.
Yes,
Right
and,
now, I
and
have
can I
to
just,
do
before
the
you
video.
play it, Danny,
I'm taking care of
the
the book.
moxie of this woman who took out her grandson's, plural, right? Her grandson's father and gave them a life of misery now, that every fucking event, every birthday, every fucking everything, every graduation, their weddings, this man is not going to be there for their kid, for his kids. And it's just, she's evil. It's just fucking deplorable. And this Wendy, I hope to God, like, I don't know what her role was in it, but I don't get a good vibe off of her at all. She looks
You know
guilty as
dang
fuck
well
to
they
me.
wouldn't have done that without asking Wendy how she felt about it. What if it would have destroyed Wendy despite how she felt about him? There's no way they did that without getting her input first.
I don't know. I don't know about that though.
My
Now,
parents hate my husband, but they would ask me.
Because they're normal, right? Like these people are narcissists for sure, but so's in my opinion, so is the, you know, the daughter and the sister. You know, and I think that, I mean, from the looks of it, who knows, right? But to Mary's point, to have a trial, you would be able to see every micro expression, all of her testimony. And I haven't seen her testimony, and I saw her interrogation because Carl Steinbeck played it. But yeah, it would be telling.
Well, she does good on the stand because she has a law background.
She's a lawyer, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so she's
During this
predisposed.
difficult
She has a
time.
leg up.
Hispanic male. So for it's probably the same guy from yesterday. You might see them making out and stuff. You're in for a show.
As the video shows, she was definitely taking care of some boys. It just wasn't her sons.
So I wrote back, okay, we have no desire to speak with you about the case.
Okay, we have no desire to speak with you about the case. I guess Dad and I are just shocked that you didn't think of coming to see us or even calling us.
Beautiful use of Jewish guilt by old Donna Sue there.
I guess Dad and I are just shocked that you didn't think of coming to see us or even calling us. We are your parents. We are and have always been there for you and the boys. None of what we wrote matters about the case. That's over. I just want you to know how many times Charlie is asking about you. Not only do you not ask about us, but not one question about Charlie.
Remember, this is all about the narcissist Donna Sue. She does not care about Charlie, but she wants her daughter to respond to her. But what drives a narcissist crazy is when you ignore them. They cannot handle that.
We will need to give you some information shortly, and we need some business assistance. Please let us know if you can be of any help. I have a safe here. I want to give her codes. We're going to be gone. I want her to have all this information. I have the cemetery property. I want her to see all that. I want her to have all these papers.
All of that is classic narcissistic deflection. What she really wants is a response from her supply.
Wills. I want her to see all this. So please let us know if you can be of any help. The other thing is the visa, which she would know about. We need some business assistance. Please let us know. If not, we'll try to find someone who can help us. This needs an immediate reply.
At this time, Donna's plotting to escape to Vietnam. Their first stop was Saudi Arabia, and then the next flight was to old Vietnam.
I can start asking other people to help. And then she always gets nervous if we want to talk to her. So I wrote, don't get nervous.
Don't get nervous. Again, nothing about the case.
Again, nothing, in capital letters, nothing about the case.
If you have a narcissist in your life, the worst thing you could do to harm them is to not respond to them.
Just would like to show you some business stuff and personal things. If you can't do it, we must find someone who can. I hope you understand that it has nothing to do with the case. There is no more case.
At 11:01 a.m., Donna continues.
She continues because there is no response.
By the way, you said that you had to focus on the boys. Have you told them?
And then I wrote, by the way, you said you have to focus on the boys. Have you told them?
3 days later, Donna continues. I don't know if you were in the car taking Ben to the airport or if you've already done that. Please give us a call when it's a good time because we need to see you for some things today, with or without redacted name.
That's her attorney.
Either will be fine. I don't know if he has plans. At 12:08, she continues. I never looked at the list of people you invited to the bar mitzvah, but I haven't spoken with Luella in months. We have texted about once a week when she tells me what else is wrong with her. Another cold, another cough, headache, back to another doctor. But we actually are just occasionally text message friends again. I don't know if you invited her or not, but she really is no longer a friend. I also hope you did not invite Seth and Jen. I only last spoke to them 6 months ago. I don't hear anything from them.
Classic Jewish narcissistic mother behavior. It's very important who her daughter invites to a bar mitzvah because sometimes you don't like people at that given time. Those of you not familiar with the situation may not understand what's going on here.
And at 12:09, the final text sent from Donna. Too much going on, and I don't mean to bother you with this. But again, I have no idea who you invited.
Stacy, what's up?
Stacy. Oh, Stacy, miss you. By the way, happy birthday, Maury Brown. You are a Lee Virgo. You are a Leo Virgo cusp. Today is the official first day, in my opinion. This is how I operate, of the cusp. So you demonstrate both. You possess both sets of attributes. God bless.
Excelente.
Happy birthday.
5. Oh, good. Give our best. Nice to have you here. You're still your turn. Letter, please. L. Oh, no, L. Donna. M. Yes, there are 2 M's. Let them come up. You have 5 seconds. First.
The boss, Donna Sue, getting 2 M's there. She decided not to solve the puzzle in order to toy with the 2 chumps that she was playing with.
K. Yes. K. Mustard maker. Mustard maker. Stew. H. Yes, there's 1 H. Time starts now. First.
Mustache maker?
Donna. F. Yes.
Mischief maker.
Yeah, that's it, Donna.
Like a boss, Donna Sue solving the puzzle.
Well, we have 3 winners here, and that's very nice. Congratulations on your
I only see one winner, the boss, Donna Sue.
$2,900. Thanks very much for being here, Donna. Likewise for you.
Look how great the boss, Donna Sue Adelson, looks there. And what a long, strange trip it's been for Donna Sue, starting from her early childhood in New York and eventually ending up in Coral Gables, Florida. Nobody knows what's next for Donna Sue and the rest of the Adelson clan, as the future is
There you
unwritten.
go,
But
Janine.
there is one thing that is certain, that I tell you each and every time we meet. You don't fuck with Donna Sue Adelson.
That's right.
She's from New York.
Thank you. Do I know my people or what?
Wait, so that's for real? She was
All right.
on Modern Family?
Oh, wow.
So this next thing we're about to watch is the video, the full video of the sheriff who shot the judge. It's blurred out, the parts that need to be blurred out, but it is definitely, it's not real graphic except for that part, but I'm going to find the little disclaimer and put it up because you can see it whether it's blurred out or not. Disclaimer. Janine's favorite word.
Disclaimer.
Disclaimer. Thank you, JFK.
Yeah.
that was an homage to JFK, actually, but yeah.
Dean, you traveling today?
Didn't invent it.
No, I'm flying tomorrow morning. I gotta be awake at like 3 a.m.
You're going to Massachusetts, right?
Going to Nebraska first, and then
Oh, that's
Massachusetts
right.
on Wednesday.
Yes,
and
yes.
Thursday, possibly Friday.
Right. Nebraska.
Nice.
Is
Sounds
MJ
like
still at Six Flags?
traveling. A lot of traveling.
Yeah, good question, Lolly.
Is MJ what, Lolene?
Still at Six Flags. I haven't seen her
Oh.
on here.
Yeah.
Well, there's a storm, at least in Connecticut. Mary, you got some. She's at the New England one, right? There's a Jersey one, Six Flags.
Yeah,
That's
she
the
was
one
over
I've
New
always
England.
been to.
The New England one's a hike for her too, though.
Ah,
It's in Western Mass.
gotcha.
Sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's
Turtle Boy
awesome.
was
I love
talking about an amusement park. Him and Jimmy, when Jimmy interviewed him, we're talking
Canopy
about
Lake?
some amusement park, something
I don't
that
think there's
closed
any
down that
sound
they wish
in
would
it.
open back up nearby.
So I think
Whalum Park.
there's no sound in it. And there's nobody talking over it, I don't think. So
I'm gonna talk over it.
yeah.
Then if you will, I will too, Dean.
Let's do it.
Yeah. Let's fucking go.
There's the sheriff right there. Big guy. It's like 10 minutes, so it's just weird how it all unfolds. But you can talk while you watch
I'm
this if
just
you want
trying
to.
to zoom in and watch the sheriff and the judge's faces. The judge is smoking in chambers in his
Yep.
office.
Mm-hmm.
That's so retro.
I don't even think he's legally allowed to do that.
No, he's not.
It's
He was
just a
not allowed
bad,
to legally
just
do
a
a lot of the
badass.
stuff he had been doing.
Like the John McClane of fucking judges right there.
I can't believe it.
For real.
They probably did have sound to this. They just took it out.
They put the cameras in there to record sex, so I'm sure they have sound.
Yeah, I wish we were watching this guy have sex on his camera,
Yeah.
smoking a cigarette while he's doing it.
Okay, Dean, you stand alone with that one.
Maybe he just did, and that's why he's
I'm not
smoking a
with you
cigarette.
with that.
Janine's
not-
just shy. She's totally
I'm not
with it.
trying. I'm not trying to hear anybody. Not my jam.
I love it when it doesn't have sound like that.
You like awkward silence.
But that's all I really want to play of it.
Yeah, I watch my porn muted. I like to make voices for them while I watch.
You do hand puppets?
Pretend they're having weird conversations.
Yeah, you do hand puppets.
Much more interactive.
So wait, we're not watching it happen. I mean,
No.
I don't want to see it, but you know that morbid
You can
curiosity.
imagine the
You
rest.
get up on my own.
They sit there for
No.
a little while talking and jawing.
Oh, he shoots him, then walks right up on him and shoots him some more. He meant to kill him.
Shoots him with what?
Oh.
His gun.
Oh my
oh.
God. Oh, Jesus Christ.
I thought we were still talking sexual stuff. My bad.
No,
Yeah,
well,
man.
He gets the judge's phone and sees that his daughter's phone number's in there, and then that's when he shoots him. And he calls it from his phone.
Yeah, so anyways, this is just
Oh, damn.
we're not gonna watch all of this either.
Damn. Whew.
But we're gonna watch some of it.
Is this the motion to dismiss because of the grand jury's not being recorded? That was this week.
Yeah, it should be. I think all of it happened at one time. So there was a bunch of different videos. So I just found one that had it just straight through. We're gonna watch it all.
So, Mr. President, the court took this matter today to the status hearing to address a few matters. We've been in such a position now that we've been able to set what kind of court next to get this matter proceeding forward. We're waiting on a PCPC evaluation to be done on that has been completed. It is currently under seal.
Look at the way the judge's hair blends into the wood in the background.
It's elegant.
You see that? You think
Yeah,
he planned?
that's an interesting
You
hairdo.
think he planned that?
It's like wood grain hair.
Like wood panel
You have to
hair,
have
like
the
you'd have on
perfect-
like
Wood grain kit from
you'd have
AutoZone.
on your station wagon in the 80s.
Perfect scalp.
Right, yeah. My aunt and uncle used to have one of them. One of them things.
Mr. Bartley, that's the main purpose for that is you wish to explore this, and then eventually hearing the other two motions, you wish to have that as potentially used.
That's correct, Your Honor. Our intention is to have it for the purpose of both evidentiary hearings. I believe that it contains, without speaking about what it contains specifically, Judge, I think it does contain valuable information that the court will be able to use, particularly in the bond hearing in terms of coming to, making the court's findings that are necessary to determine whether Mr. Stines is the candidate for a bond in this case. And so I think as it pertains to the motion to dismiss, Judge, there's also some information in there that will go.
I was just going to say, where's Prince Lover? Because she's the one that wanted to watch some of this. But it is pretty good. I don't know why he's going to court. But I think they're trying to say he was insane. So that's what.
To some of the testimony that was given at registry.
Mr. Steele, how long, not that I'm looking forward to that, but also that, how long do you want to have?
Judge, you give us 10 days. I think we got it last week, so you give us 10 days to respond to that. Motion. That's it. Thank you.
All right, what we'd like to do though is at least see how far we can get without addressing the PCPC evaluation issue. And actually, the court hadn't read that, so they can keep that in mind. But we can address first, motion to dismiss the indictment.
Your Honor, Chief Royal Deputy, Your Honor. Your Honor, we filed a motion to dismiss on 2021 under RCR 5.16. Failure to provide or to have a transcript of the regular proceedings for those. RCR 5.16 requires that any testimony made in front of the grand jury must be back in the court. Now, we kind of came upon that surreptitiously when we were listening to the grand jury tape, and there was a reference. Your Honor, I don't know if the court has made that grand jury, can I speak to the content of the grand jury? That's exactly what I think.
The first matter, the court has provided a transcript,
Thank you. So there's a reference to one of the grand juries that said in our last meeting, or in our previous meeting, and I'm paraphrasing it. And so at that point, we weren't aware of this grand jury here. And so I inquired on they did respond to it. The response was basically, well, we met with them. The purpose was just to get a subpoena for medical evidence. And the judge, I just didn't know the response. But I guess number one, what's thought about that is that I've been thousand.
We're gonna have to do some fundraisers for these courthouses so they can get some good production, because a lot of people are wanting to play this stuff. The sound sucks.
Alessi's girl, hey.
Oh my God. Hi, welcome.
Great
What's
to
up?
see you, friend.
I don't think she's hung out with us since the last channel.
Really?
Yeah, she's in Cherry's Discord though.
Oh, well, come into Danny's too.
I was just waiting for the multiple personality dude to leave before I
Oh, gotcha.
we end up with 300 people.
Sorry, brother. Spoke
End
too
up with
soon.
300 people in Discord. It's just one guy.
Yeah. Gotcha.
If you want evidence of the grand jury, you usually subpoena after the hearing. There's no reason you don't have to issue the grand jury subpoena. You send a subpoena, you subpoena the custodian to the hearing. And then the second piece of that that concerns me is that even if we presume that is what was going on, and I don't have much time for you, but if we presume that's what's going on, unless there's some sort of telepathic thing going on, there had to be statements made to the grand jury that said, hey, this is this case, this is what we know. And I think the Commonwealth's making a distinction that, well, you don't come in with raise your right hand and swear, it's not testimony. Well, actually, the distinction is sworn testimony or sworn testimony. I'd say to you, the only way you're asking for a subpoena and you're basing that on some sort of probable cause or evidentiary standard that you want the grand jury to consider, which is the only thing that makes sense. You have to tell them something. They didn't walk into the grand jury room and say, just look at each other and grand jury said, hey, we'd like to have a arrest. Now, I will say this, I do agree with talking about their legal advice to the grand jury, and grand jury regulations do not have to be transcribed. But whatever was said to the grand jury, if you feel to ask for or form their basis for asking for medical records, Judge, I shouldn't start that.
Yeah, that sounds horrible. Court TV is the same though. I don't know what's wrong with them people. They got plenty of money, which is good. We'll get the gist of it. I'll find some better videos, but we'll keep up with it.
Yeah, I mean, it's up to these channels, the Court TV and Law and Crime, to get like these courtrooms better suited for their channel, you know?
My boyfriend covered the motion to dismiss, so I can send it.
Ooh.
Ah.
We love watching
I've
him.
got
We'll allow it.
I've got his. I just don't want to watch it.
Yeah, Train, but he didn't shoot the deputy.
That's
That's
right.
the first thing I thought of. when
Thank
we
you for
started to
that,
play this.
Dean. We
Yeah, no
needed
problem.
that. We
No
needed
problem.
We'll just skip to the next subject now, which is the Wolfenbarger. And
All right.
Baker's been watching this trial and stuff, and I just found this video today, and it's pretty good. It's a good explanation of the whole thing. And then I got the opening statements. So it's up to y'all. You want to watch this first, or you want to watch opening statements? This will give you a good idea of what's going on.
This first.
Yeah. Why not? That makes sense.
It's good.
Disclaimer.
To make sure we stop it frequently, because I just hold on. Oh, I meant to do something. I was listening to y'all talk. Yeah, I did that already. Anyways, this is a new person. They do a lot of really good videos. True Crime Chronicle. The True Crime Chronicle.
Nice. Okay.
Say that 3 times quickly.
It's hard.
Yeah, I'm
But
gonna try.
It was hard doing it once.
I got a ton of videos on a ton of different stuff. So this is what Dean needs to go on and get all into the true crime. Start doing some of these videos. He could do this easily.
Do children really pay for the sins of their parents? Is the boomer?
This guy's only got 250,000
boomerang effect real? And is it true that fate gives villains an ironic chance to end up in the place of their own victims? They also say that women look for a husband who resembles their father. But what if their father is a serial maniac? Today, we will hear an absolutely wild story that began with the disappearance of Melissa Wolfenbarger. And before we get started, be kind enough to support my channel. Subscribe to the channel, like the video, and stay active. It will help a lot. I will be very grateful to you for that. Let's get started. The last time Melissa's mother, Norma, spoke with her on the phone was on November 26, 1998, on Thanksgiving. They discussed the upcoming Christmas together, gifts, and weekend plans. Melissa, along with her husband and 2 children, was planning to visit her parents for the holiday. However, when Christmas arrived, neither their daughter nor her husband and grandchildren showed up at the house. Norma and Carl knew that Melissa would never miss spending the holidays with her family. And even if there had been a serious reason, the young woman would have certainly called her parents to let them know that her plans had changed. This time, things were different. At that moment, there was little the parents could do, as Melissa was an adult 21-year-old woman. She was married to her high school sweetheart, Christopher Wolfenbarger, and was raising 2 small children, 3-year-old Christina and 2-year-old Joey. The couple lived with their little ones in a duplex in Atlanta. For the holidays, they were supposed to come to Melissa's family home in Locust Grove, Georgia, where she had spent her childhood. During their phone conversation about Christmas, Melissa had asked her mother for pictures of herself with her grandmother. Norma promised to buy a beautiful frame, place the photos inside, and put the gift under the Christmas tree for her daughter. Unfortunately, Melissa would never get to see her parents' gift. It remained wrapped.
Plus, this is in like trial day, finna be trial day 3. So once we get through watching this and watch, if we want to watch opening statements, then we can just kind of keep going until we catch up. And we can watch a little trial footage every day.
Wrapped under that tree for a long time. It was 1998 and mobile phones were still not a common thing. That's why Melissa's parents and other members of the Potton family kept trying to reach her for a long time, but there was no response. In January, Norma and Carl could no longer bear the strange silence, so they got in their car and drove to their daughter's home in Atlanta, desperate for answers to the questions that haunted them. When they arrived at the duplex on Brooklyn Avenue, they found it empty. The apartment had been completely cleaned out, as if no one had ever lived there. A deeply worried Norma went to speak with the neighbors and learned that her daughter's family had moved out. One of the neighbors recalled hearing them loading their belongings sometime between Christmas and New Year's, but the Wolfenbargers hadn't left a forwarding address, a note, or any kind of warning. The entire family had simply vanished. Norma and Carl weren't about to give up so easily. They tracked down the company where they believed their son-in-law, Christopher, had been working and headed there. It was a glass company. At the office, they were told that Christopher had actually been fired after crashing one of the company's trucks. According to their records, he had worked there from October 1998 until sometime in 1999, so the management had no idea where he was now. Melissa's parents had no choice but to return home empty-handed. In February, Norma's birthday came, and she held on to hope that her daughter would call to wish her well, but that call never came. That was the moment Norma realized that something terrible had happened to Melissa. She was devastated by the realization that her little girl would never come home again. Melissa Patton Wolfenbarger was born on September 9, 1977, and grew up in the suburbs of Atlanta, Georgia, alongside her older sister, Tina Patton. She was always cheerful, kind, and trusting. She loved animals and would bring home every kitten and puppy she found in the neighborhood. In the future, Melissa dreamed of becoming a veterinarian and rescuing 4-legged pets. She and Tina participated in school beauty pageants and were very close. Melissa's kindness and trustfulness remained with her as she grew older, but they were soon joined.
You know, this was like 27-year cold case. That's just insane.
Terrible.
I mean, I'm glad they get some answers.
Yeah, yeah.
Somebody
I
was
bet
like,
you Laura J knows about this case because that's the area that her father worked.
I watched a couple of other creators that were talking about it, and one of them, he didn't really agree with the fact that solving it this long, when the people that did it could be dead or whatever, was worth it. And I was like, are you kidding?
Oh no, it's
Answer.
always worth it.
You've been wondering about it for 30 fucking years. Are you joking?
And they need justice.
Yeah.
No matter when it comes, they need
Even if they don't
justice.
get justice, they need to know what happened. That's the mystery. Justice.
And
needs
if anyone involved isn't dead, then they should be held accountable and not just be able to walk the streets.
Right.
Exactly. No matter how old they are and if they're in bad health, who gives a shit? You did it.
Yeah. Did you see the guy that I sent to the Discord that that older I call it older gentleman. He's not. He's a fucking demonic monster, and they got him. They got him, and he had been
The one you
living.
posted a while ago?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. That guy.
Hey,
And then
Laura
he
J.
died. I think he died in jail. I think I mean he lived a few years. At least he got a few years, right? I mean, I don't know if I don't remember with specificity because it was a few weeks ago that I posted it, but whomever within the lineage, right? It has the awareness that all of those, those poor little girls that were killed by him,
Yeah,
that
don't
that gives them some comfort.
we're watching this. Don't confuse people. But we'll watch that too. There's Rights On.
Oh yeah. But by the way, Danny, did you guys see that Danny and I watched an OB stream about the Candyman, which is just I had no awareness of it. And that's a lot of that is cold as well. Like there are some kids that he killed that I think that were not. There was one of them, I think his last victim, and I saw it in my Instagram feed, and I they did like a simulation of what they think he would have looked like at that time, if any, or like when he's older, I guess a little bit older. But I posted it in the Discord, I think last night or the
Did
night
that
before.
really occur in the Chicago area?
What? Oh, the Candyman? I think that was Texas. No?
Yeah. I saw where she was doing something in South Texas last night, but I thought Candyman originally was in
It
Chicago.
was a while ago, OB, and didn't know about it. What a horrific case. It was in the 70s. It was like in the early 70s. And then there was a picture that, part of whatever she had played. He was a sicko and he had two accomplices. And not to get too much into the weeds, I know Danny wants to play this, but there was, I think it was they took a picture of this poor kid. They were all boys. And the look of terror on his face, it's just like, and to be a victim, it's like, who could even imagine what that's like? And, they can't tell the tale. And whenever these monsters are caught, it's always, it's a victory.
By teenage rebellion.
Yep.
As a result, she ran into trouble with the law over minor offenses. She would sneak out of her bedroom window to go to parties with boys. These rebellious acts eventually led Melissa to fall in love with a boy who didn't make the best impression on her parents. But the high schooler was in a hurry to grow up, so she married her high school sweetheart, Christopher, and moved to the city with him. After marriage, things quickly fell into place. By the time she turned 21, Melissa was a proud mother of 2 children and enjoyed her role as a married woman. But in the winter of 1998, everything changed. That was when the young woman suddenly disappeared, never to be seen again. Her parents searched for their youngest daughter in hospitals, morgues, and even local jails. They knew that Melissa had worked at a bakery for some time alongside her older sister, Tina. But the management told them that she hadn't shown up for work in over a month. They had no information about her getting another job. One day, she simply didn't come to work and never warned anyone. Her co-workers went to check on her at home, but the neighbors told them that Melissa's family had moved away. Throughout 1999, there was no sign of the young woman. Her mother and father prayed that their daughter was alive and would return home. They clung to the hope that Melissa had a good reason for not calling her parents. After months of waiting and conducting their own search, in January 2000, Norma Patton officially filed a missing person report. When she reached out to the police, Atlanta detectives were able to track down Christopher Wolfenbarger, Melissa's husband. But his wife was not with him. Neither were their children. Christopher claimed that Melissa had left to pursue her dream. According to him, she had long wanted to start a new life in California, so one day she simply disappeared. But Norma and Carl were 100% sure that their daughter would never abandon her children. Something was clearly wrong. However, since her husband had never reported her missing, and Melissa was an adult woman who didn't have to account for her actions to her parents, the police didn't give her disappearance the attention it deserved. Moreover, the case itself posed a major challenge. There was no crime scene, nor any evidence that anything had happened to Melissa. Her husband, Christopher, insisted that she had been planning her move to California for a long time. He claimed that she had been working double shifts at the bakery to save more money, and that sometimes she even booked a hotel room so she wouldn't have to drive home after a long shift. Then one day, she simply didn't come home. At first, Christopher assumed she would return later, but when she still didn't show up the next day, he figured she had decided to follow through on her plan and had gone to California alone. So, according to Christopher, there was nothing unusual about her disappearance. Investigators tried to pressure him, bringing up his criminal past, but Christopher dismissed it as old news. He claimed that he and his wife were like Bonnie and Clyde, just on a much smaller scale. He admitted that they had been a little wild in their youth, even before their marriage. However, as it later turned out, that wasn't entirely true. Melissa had actually reported Christopher to the police and accused him of domestic violence. According to her, he had repeatedly hit her. On one occasion, he allegedly drugged her and then dragged her down the street by her hair. In response to Melissa's accusations, Christopher filed a counterclaim. At one point, she packed her things and left to stay with her sister. But a week later, she returned for her children. Their relationship was unstable. But when a judge reviewed their case, Christopher asked for a private conversation with his wife. After a brief discussion, Melissa withdrew her complaint and returned to him. After all, they had 2 children to raise. When his wife unexpectedly left for California, Christopher moved out of the duplex and went to stay with relatives, while he sent the children to live with his mother. As a result, Christina and Joey now lived with their grandmother, and their father visited them only occasionally. Since the children were still very young, they quickly forgot about their mother. They only remembered their father when Chris came to his mother's house. Norma Patton stated that she had never liked Melissa's husband. She believed it was because of him that her daughter ran away from home as soon as she finished high school and rushed into marriage. Melissa's older sister, Tina, recalled noticing a handprint on Melissa's neck once. Melissa burst into tears and begged her not to tell anyone. Tina's boyfriend had a man-to-man talk with Christopher, and that was the end of it. Regardless, Carl and Norma Patton never believed that their daughter would just run away without telling anyone, and even if she had, she would have found a way to contact her parents. However, as time passed, there was still no clarity about what had happened to Melissa. A young woman, a mother of 2 small children, had simply vanished into thin air. Strangely enough, in 2000, during questioning, Christopher Wolfenbarger told authorities that he had seen Melissa outside their home in March or April of 1999. But earlier, he had claimed the last time he saw her was in December 1998. Despite this contradiction, Melissa's disappearance remained unresolved. 5 years later, in 2003, her family found itself in the spotlight once again. But this time, it wasn't because of Christopher. Instead, it was Carl Patton, Melissa's father, who ended up behind bars. Back in mid-1983, Carl had been arrested on theft charges. He served a short sentence and was later granted parole. After that, Patton was never involved in criminal activity again and had never been arrested. But it turned out that he had committed another crime back in 1977. And it wasn't uncovered until more than 20 years later, after DNA evidence finally proved his involvement. On February 23, 2003, Carl Patton was arrested for the murder of 31-year-old Liddy Matthew Evans. She had been living with a man named Joe Cleveland, who was Carl Patton's best friend. Liddy's body was found in a river, stuffed inside a sleeping bag and chained to a concrete block. She had been shot in the head, and this wasn't the only crime Melissa's father had committed. Just minutes after Carl's arrest, his wife, Norma, announced that she was willing to testify against him in exchange for immunity from prosecution. A plea deal was made between her and the district attorney's office, and Melissa's mother gave incriminating testimony against her husband. According to Norma, between 1970 and 1977, Carl Patton and his friend, 28-year-old Joe Cleveland, committed a series of crimes. First, Carl and his friend shot and killed Carl's own uncle, 45-year-old Fred White, and Fred's girlfriend, Betty Jo Eflem. A month later, Carl told his wife that Joe had broken their agreement and had talked about the murders to mutual acquaintances. Carl convinced Norma to help him get rid of his loose-lipped friend, who could cause serious trouble for their family. And she agreed. According to Norma's testimony, on December 17, 1977, Carl lured his best friend, Joe, and Joe's girlfriend to their house, where he shot them both on the couch with a shotgun. The Pattons wrapped the bodies in sleeping bags, attached weights, and dumped them into the river. Afterward, Norma cleaned the house, washed away the blood, and destroyed any evidence. Carl burned the blood-stained couch in the backyard. The only thing Norma forgot was to clean the trunk. The bodies were found in the river a few days later. The Pattons were questioned, as they were among the suspects in the killings, especially after bloodstains were discovered in their van's trunk. Although the blood type matched that of Liddy Evans, there wasn't enough evidence to charge Carl at the time, so authorities had to let him go. It wasn't until late 2002 that another DNA test was conducted, and this time, Carl Patton's involvement in the crime was undeniable. On February 23, 2003, he was arrested at his own home. It turned out that the father of missing Melissa Wolfenbarger was a serial killer, someone who had no trouble taking the lives of his best friend, a family member, or their partners. So it wasn't hard to suspect that this man could have easily killed his own daughter. Perhaps she had seen something, or was planning to turn him into the police. Law enforcement officials also suspected Carl's involvement in Melissa's disappearance. However, he was never charged with her murder. According to Carl, he would never take the life of an innocent person. He claimed that he only eliminated those who posed a threat to his family. Still, many believed that Melissa had become Carl Patton's fifth victim. There were also theories linking her disappearance to the mafia that had operated in the southern United States since the 1960s. This criminal organization was known for carrying out contract killings, especially against former members. Rumors circulated that Carl Patton had ties to this mafia group. Some believed he was a skilled hitman, though Carl himself denied these claims. The first trial against Melissa's father took place in March 2003, focusing on the murders of Fred White and his mistress, Betty Jo Eflem. Norma explained that Carl and Joe had killed them for financial gain. Fred's legal wife had taken out a life insurance policy on him because he had been cheating on her with Betty. She then hired Carl, promising him a large sum of money to get rid of her unfaithful husband. After committing the crime against his own uncle,
That's all it took. Some money. It's crazy.
Crazy.
It's gonna get weird. It gets better and better by the end of this video. You're gonna
I
want to
remember hearing this. I've
open this
forgotten the details, but I remember hearing this story.
And just so you know, this video has got another 15. The opening statements are 40 minutes each. They're pretty good. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
You're gonna like it. Plus, this guy right here, I'm telling you, True Crime Chronicles. Get subscribed. He's got tons of videos. They're all really well done like this.
Carl later claimed to have regretted it. He pleaded guilty to the charges against him. He was sentenced to 2 life terms with the possibility of parole after 20 years. He was then transferred to another county, where the trial began for the murders of Liddy Evans and Joe Cleveland. Once again, Carl pleaded guilty and received 2 more life sentences. His wife, Norma, effectively admitted to being guilty of failing to report the crimes and of destroying evidence. She was sentenced to 12 months of probation and fined $1,000. Detective Bruce Jordan had been the one investigating Carl Patton's old cases. After 25 years, he managed to track down and imprison a serial killer. And now, the convicted murderer turned to him with a request to find his missing daughter, Melissa Wolfenbarger. Carl considered Jordan a true professional, believing that if he had been able to catch a criminal after a quarter of a century, he might also be able to find Melissa. The Patton family had always been certain that Carl could never have taken the life of his youngest daughter. He loved his girls and was devastated when he learned about her disappearance. Melissa's sister, Tina, and her mother, Norma, believed that someone else was responsible for her vanishing. Detective Bruce Jordan took on the Wolfenbarger case. After news of the reopened investigation was published in the newspaper, he received a tip from the Atlanta morgue. An examiner called him to report that they had been storing unidentified remains for the past 4 years. It turned out that back in April 1999, a severed head had been discovered near the area where Melissa's family had lived. Then, in June 1999, in the same area, authorities found mutilated limbs stuffed into 4 garbage bags and dumped in a wooded area. At first, investigators suspected that these remains were connected to the severed head. But since the torso was never found, all the remains were classified as belonging to a male. At the time the body fragments were discovered, Melissa Wolfenbarger had not yet been reported missing. As a result, the gruesome finds remained unidentified. Because the person's death was clearly a homicide, the remains were never buried. They were kept in storage. In reality, these remains had been found just months after Melissa's disappearance, near the glass company where her husband, Christopher Wolfenbarger, had once worked. Norma Patton had heard about the discovery in the news. However, reports at the time stated that the victim was most likely a Caucasian male. She had thanked God that it wasn't her daughter. Now, after so many years, she learned the truth. The remains belonged to Melissa. When
You're muted.
I know, that would be crazy.
This is this is like the craziest fucking story.
I
It
know
really is.
it feels like a TV
To
series.
think
Or
that you had actually found her, and then they said, "Oh, that can't be her because that's
I
a
was
him."
trying to type it. There's plenty that you can do to determine gender and ethnicity with the skull, arms, and legs, even without the torso. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, so somebody did it wrong.
They
Convicted
didn't do
killer Carl
anything.
Patton was informed.
That sucks for that lady. That stood there and said, "I'm glad that's not my daughter,"
Shut up, Dean.
and it was.
Oh no, what did Dean say? What did Dean do?
This
Dean's
isn't that
like, wait
crazy.
till my story comes out. I'll
Oh.
top all these people.
Dean.
That his daughter was most likely dead, he broke down and cried. What angered him the most was the fact that her dismembered body had been found long ago. It took the arrest of the perpetrator's father for the remains to finally be identified. The worst part was that a DNA test had not been conducted immediately when Melissa's mother first reported her missing in early 2000. Melissa's body remained unidentified until 2003, when the remains were finally compared to Carl Patton's DNA. This also meant that crucial evidence had likely been lost over time. An autopsy revealed that Melissa's neck had been cut with a mechanical saw. Her skull was almost completely hairless as it had been doused in bleach. This was why the remains had initially been misidentified as male. It is unknown whether these actions were carried out post-mortem or if they were part of torture inflicted on her while she was still alive. Her head and limbs, including her hands, legs, and feet, had been placed in garbage bags and discarded. The location where they were dumped was no accident. The area was known for heavy traffic, making it impossible to track the vehicle used to transport the remains. Determining the exact cause of death was also impossible due to the absence of Melissa's torso, which was never found. When Christopher Wolfenbarger was informed about the location of his missing wife's remains, he didn't rush to claim them. Melissa's mother, Norma Patton, believed that Chris was responsible for her daughter's death. She had never liked him and never wanted her daughter to marry him. Moreover, Melissa's body parts had been discarded near Chris's workplace. For the police, Wolfenbarger was still a person of interest. No charges were filed against him, but he was called in for another round of questioning. In an interview, Christopher stated that he had always cooperated with the investigation and had even provided his DNA years ago. According to him, he had nothing to hide. He had absolutely no reason to kill Melissa. They didn't have life insurance policies or any valuable assets. Besides, he claimed he would never have been so reckless as to dump her remains near his workplace, bringing suspicion upon himself. Christopher also admitted to reporters that he had truly believed his wife had changed her name and left to seek a better life. Deep down, he had hoped that she would return one day, at least for the sake of their children. That was why he never reported her missing to the police. Melissa's older sister, Tina, took her loss the hardest. For a long time, she couldn't come to terms with the lack of closure in the case. Tina even had dreams where Melissa appeared to her, calling for help. Carl Patton, sitting in prison and unable to say goodbye to his daughter, went through a profound change. Failing to get justice for Melissa, he finally understood what it felt like to lose a loved one. Her death made him realize what other families had gone through, and that no one deserved such pain. The most shocking part of this case was that a serial killer spent most of his time behind bars fighting for justice for his youngest daughter. But before that, he made one final confession, his fifth crime. Carl told investigators that on March 8, 1973, 4 years before the crimes for which he had already been convicted, he took the life of a man named Richard Russell Jackson. Maria White, the wife of his uncle, who later hired Carl to kill her unfaithful husband, had first asked him for a criminal favor years earlier. According to Maria, Richard Jackson had been her first husband. She claimed he had abused, insulted, and humiliated her throughout their marriage. Now married to Fred White, Carl's uncle, she wanted revenge. So in the end, Carl had eliminated both of this woman's husbands. Unfortunately, verifying Carl's story was impossible, as Maria White had died in 1988, 10 years before Melissa's disappearance and 35 years before his confession. Carl was once again extradited to another county to stand trial. He testified that he and his friend, Joe Cleveland, had lured Richard into a car, driven him to a wooded area, and then shot him. Everyone in the courtroom was shocked when the victim's daughter, Gladys Elaine Jackson, stood up to speak. The young woman made a statement, thanking Carl Patton. Mrs. Jackson told the court that her father had constantly abused her mother, Maria, and that Fred White, Maria's next husband and Gladys's stepfather, had also been violent toward her. According to Gladys, both of these men were monsters. Her childhood memories were filled with images of blood, bruises, and her mother's broken bones. So, by sending both men to their graves, Mr. Patton had done Maria and her children a favor. Otherwise, one of them would have eventually beaten Maria to death. However, Richard Jackson's family insisted that Maria had been a manipulator who only wanted to collect life insurance money. That was why she had ordered Carl Patton to eliminate both of her husbands. In the end, Melissa's father was sentenced to yet another life term. Carl told the police that no one else had ever died by his hand. Authorities, however, were highly skeptical of such a statement. This was a man who had killed 5 people, then suddenly lived as a law-abiding citizen for 20 years. One thing investigators were certain of, though, Carl had loved his daughter, and he would never have harmed her. So, Melissa's remains had been found, but no one was ever arrested or charged in connection with her death. In 2017, Norma Patton reached out to cold case investigator Cheryl McCollum, asking for help in finding answers about Melissa's case. Cheryl McCollum, the founder and director of the Cold Case Investigative Research Institute, frequently hosts a popular program that delves into unsolved cases. She is also the host of the true crime podcast Zone 7. Cheryl vividly remembers the moment she first saw Norma Patton. It was at a formal dinner for an event she was hosting. As Cheryl spoke on stage, she noticed a woman enter the room, dressed more for a day at the beach than for a formal gathering. When the event ended, the stranger approached her and said, "My daughter was decapitated, and I need your help." That woman was Norma Patton. Without hesitation, Cheryl agreed to hear her story. And Norma certainly had a story to tell. Armed with folders full of information, she was ready to talk. A mother exhausted from years of seeking justice for her daughter, she immediately warned the Zone 7 host about the fact that her husband was in prison for murdering 5 people. She herself had been given probation for helping him dispose of the bodies. But now, this wasn't about them, it was about their missing daughter. Cheryl told Norma that she would need to speak with Carl Patton to build a full victimology. Meanwhile, she reached out to search specialists to bring in cadaver dogs and re-examine the wooded area where the black garbage bags containing Melissa's remains had once been found.
Lolene, can you read her comment? Hold on, the guy kills his wife, dumps his kids on their grandparents, and the dead wife is the daughter of a serial killer? And
That is correct. That is a true story, apparently.
Cheryl hoped to find the torso, or at least some new leads that could get to the truth. Unfortunately, the search yielded no results. But Norma convinced Cheryl not to stop, urging her to speak with anyone willing to talk, because you never know who might be the person to finally provide the missing piece of the puzzle. So Cheryl continued investigating the case of Melissa Wolfenbarger. The investigator corresponded with the father of the missing young woman for a long time. In these letters, Carl Patton shared his opinion on who was responsible for his daughter's death. There was only one person he firmly named as the suspected killer: Melissa's husband and his own son-in-law, Christopher Wolfenbarger. Carl had no other suspects in mind. He mentioned that he wouldn't take Christopher's life, only for the sake of his grandchildren. But if he were ever released from prison, he wouldn't miss the chance to meet them and play a role in their lives. Carl recalled the first time he held Melissa in his arms, feeling as if his own heart was beating inside her. She was a happy, beautiful young girl who did well in school and had a bright future ahead of her. But everything changed when she met Christopher Wolfenbarger. According to Carl, this man had a bad influence on her. His daughter started sneaking out of her bedroom window at night just to see him. Chris taught her how to steal. Twice, the young couple had tried to steal Carl's car to run away to California. When Melissa became pregnant and gave birth to their daughter, Christopher did everything he could to keep both her and their newborn Christina away from her grandparents. The only time they were able to see each other was when Chris was at work. Melissa told her parents that she would be in serious trouble if her husband found out about their visit. Despite the constant bruises on her arms and neck, marks left by Chris, she was in love with him and refused to listen to anyone. Her parents tried to make her understand that their relationship was unsafe, toxic, and would only end badly. But Melissa believed everything would be fine. When she failed to show up for Christmas and her parents couldn't find her, Carl felt it in his soul. He knew that Chris had done something to Melissa, but he had no way to prove it. What hurt him the most was that his grandchildren didn't even know the truth, that their mother hadn't abandoned them to chase a better life. She was dead. Even in prison, Carl tried to assist in the investigation. His genuine love for his daughter and his sincere desire to bring her killer to justice removed the last suspicions against him. Still, after 5 murder confessions, police couldn't help but wonder if Carl had played a role in Melissa's disappearance. Carl insisted that investigators re-examine the trash bags in which her remains had been found for any traces of DNA. He believed that whoever tied those knots might have left behind an unnoticed clue, because no crime was truly perfect. But despite their efforts, detectives never found any evidence linking Christopher to his wife's disappearance. At the end of his letter, Carl thanked the host for taking on his daughter's case. He also mentioned that losing Melissa and feeling that pain had finally made him truly understand the damage he had inflicted on others, on the families who had lost their loved ones because of his crimes. Following this, Zone 7 host Cheryl McCollum interviewed the children of Lydia Evans, as there was speculation that Melissa might have been harmed by the relatives of Carl's victims. Some believed that someone could have sought revenge on Carl by targeting his daughter. However, the problem with this theory was that Carl's crimes were only uncovered several years after Melissa's disappearance. The children of Lydia Evans agreed to participate in the podcast, to share their mother's story, and to help bring justice for Melissa. In their view, a mother of 2 children also deserved justice, even if she was the daughter of the man who had murdered their own mother. During the interview, Cheryl read them one of Carl's letters in which he wrote that he prayed for their forgiveness. Forensic expert Joseph Morgan then analyzed the autopsy findings and provided insight into the killer's profile. In his opinion, the crime was deeply personal. He also suggested that the dismemberment had not taken place in the Wolfenbarger's duplex. Instead, he theorized that it may have occurred at the glass company where Christopher had once worked, as Melissa's remains had been found in a dump site behind the building, which also had the necessary tools for such an act. However, no blood or DNA traces were ever found at the facility. As a result, investigators were never able to pinpoint the actual crime scene or determine where Melissa's body had been dismembered. Cheryl spoke with Norma and Melissa's sister, Tina. She exchanged letters with Carl, consulted experts, and brought
Muted.
Been a lot of stuff with dismembered in it lately. A lot of dismembered trials.
Yeah, speaking of Dexter.
Yeah.
Tombstone.
Yo.
Calypso.
What up? What's up? But that's another one that is.
Hey, Tombstone.
In it.
Tombstones.
Tombstones.
Can you believe the nerve
Never
of
found
Lawleen
the right song.
just leaving during the middle of a stream? Like, who does that? Who friggin' does that?
I'll
That
allow
is-
it.
She didn't even fall asleep.
Yeah.
Not even funny.
in forensic specialists. After reviewing the case materials, these professionals conducted their own independent investigation. But it was a long and painstaking process. Yet, despite all the time and effort, everyone involved in the case came to the same conclusion. They all suspected one person, Christopher Wolfenbarger. Cheryl declared that she would stake her reputation on ensuring that the person responsible for the death of the young mother of 2 would be convicted. Melissa's case was one of the first stories covered on her Zone 7 podcast, which launched in February 2023. Then, in April 2024, a listener reached out to Cheryl with crucial information. This person claimed to have witnessed the Wolfenbarger's behavior at a party. Cheryl immediately forwarded this information to the lead detectives. After more than 2 decades of unanswered questions, the case suddenly gained momentum, developing at lightning speed over the next few months. In early August, Melissa's husband was arrested on suspicion of murder. Detective Calhoun, the lead investigator on Melissa's case, wanted to personally inform her father about the arrest. Back in 2003, it was Calhoun himself who had told Carl that his daughter's remains had been identified, thanks only to Carl's persistence. The officer who had spent years investigating the case didn't want Carl to hear about the arrest from the news. But unfortunately, Carl wasn't allowed phone calls until Thursday. So the detective drove to the prison to tell Carl in person, one father to another. Years ago, Carl Patton had been devastated when he learned that his daughter was dead. But now, when he heard that Chris had been arrested, he was overjoyed. The man literally jumped for joy, thrilled that his suspicions about his son-in-law had been right all along. On August 7, 2024, the Atlanta Police Department held a press conference to address public interest in the case and to officially announce the arrest of Christopher Wolfenbarger, the man who had been a person of interest from the very beginning. Detectives re-interviewed witnesses, explored additional leads, and utilized new forensic technology. By piecing together all the facts, they finalized their probable cause argument and were finally able to take the suspect into custody. Police described the circumstances of Christopher's arrest. He had been found at his home in Griffin, hiding behind a clothes dryer. It was highly unlikely that an innocent man would try to hide from law enforcement. As he was taken into custody, Christopher continued to insist on his innocence. Officials did not disclose the specific evidence they had against him or what his possible motive might have been. With a trial still ahead, the case remained under sealed investigation. Melissa's mother, Norma, and her older sister, Tina, attended the press conference. Norma stated that she no longer needed to watch the news because the man who had taken her daughter was now behind bars. The elderly woman prayed that Christopher would remain there forever. Now they faced one final obstacle: securing Christopher's conviction. For 25 years, this family waited for justice for Melissa. They never stopped believing that the investigation would one day come to a close, and their faith was finally rewarded. From the very first day she met Christopher, Norma Patton saw pure evil in his eyes. She even once compared her son-in-law's stare to a photograph of Charles Manson. Unfortunately, Melissa's parents couldn't protect their daughter from this man. But her story now serves as a powerful illustration of the possible consequences for families affected by domestic violence. Many in the public had little sympathy for the Patton family, believing that their suffering was simply divine punishment for their past sins. Carl Patton, the convicted killer of 5 people, had already come to terms with his guilt and had repented. But time could never be reversed. And for him to truly understand the pain he had inflicted on others, he had to experience the loss of his beloved daughter. All these years, Melissa's children remained in the custody of Christopher's mother. Melissa's side of the family, Norma, Carl, and Tina, was not allowed to see them. They had always hoped that once the children were grown, they would finally learn the truth, that their mother had loved them deeply and had stayed with Chris only for their sake. Now an adult, Christina, Melissa, and Christopher's daughter, shared her experience of growing up with her father. As a teenager, she became deeply frustrated with him. Whenever she asked about her mother, Christopher either told her a completely different story or got angry. So she began researching on her own, using social media to find answers. One day, she came across the case of her missing mother, Melissa Wolfenbarger. At 18, Christina reached out to her aunt Tina and her grandmother Norma. They met in person. Christina felt an immediate connection, and they have been inseparable ever since. Reuniting with her mother's family filled the void she had felt in her heart since childhood. She said that nothing would ever bring her mother back, but at least now she had the chance to learn who Melissa truly was. Her only memory of her was from when she was very little, sitting in the back seat of a car, listening as her happy mother, Melissa, sang while driving. If you have finished watching, you are a real fan.
Oh, wow. That's a lot to take in. So
yeah, pretty heavy. Yeah.
So husband is on trial now? Is that what's happening?
Chris, right? The husband's name is Chris. Danny.
You're
Danny,
muted.
you're muted, brother.
Christopher, his name's Christopher Wolfenbarger. Yeah, and
Yeah.
then
Wow. He
they
sucks,
might-
huh?
they're going to be in trial
Yeah.
day, I think 3 tomorrow.
Right.
So,
Tomorrow. Okay, so tomorrow is day 3.
yeah,
So
this
we're
is-
gonna watch the opening statements through, or I guess whatever we make it through, right?
yeah. Well, there's 2. I mean, it's only 2 of them.
There's 2 of them.
Sometimes it's more. We didn't know that until recently.
All right, cool.
I'm into it.
But this is
Poor girl. My God, awful.
looks like somebody else's stream too. I don't know. Hold
So
on.
they don't know, and Lolina's in here. Of course, I can't ask her, but apparently they were saying they're saying a lot of things, but that they don't know if she was tortured or these things happened post mortem, like with the bleach and whether she was dismembered. I guess they could always tell if you're dismembered pre or post mortem, right? But the bleach, they said they didn't know. I mean, it's just horrific.
Yeah, I think that the not having the torso thing really like takes out a lot of evidence of like exactly what happened.
Right. But you don't know if I mean, God forbid, I can't even think about it, but like if it happens, the dismemberment happens, I mean, that's a way of disposing of the body, but he wasn't very bright because he buried the body right around where he worked, right?
Yeah, but
right out back in the
torso,
damn
they still
Oh
never
my
found
God.
that.
Yeah.
ridiculous.
Right. God only knows. God only
bad
knows.
We had a disclaimer, Prince Lover, but do you
Yep.
have a ticker? Do you have a trigger ticker?
Uh-oh.
No trigger
Sorry.
ticker.
Sorry,
Okay.
Prince Lover. Disclaimer.
But I already ran the disclaimer earlier before we started this
Correct.
content.
MJ,
But I found it on Court TV too.
where you at?
That was Six Flags.
Stream.
You still there? MJ, is it storming over there? Mary B, is it storming by you?
I'll have to look because I can't tell.
Oh, you'd know. Like you'd hear it.
Oh, my AC is on. It's very loud. Freya.
Oh, I gotcha. Yeah, usually what you have, I've got as well, and weather-wise, for
Yeah,
sure.
maybe a little
We
bit
have,
later.
yep, we haven't had a good storm in a while. We're overdue.
Yeah, I'm down with it. I
Yeah.
like storms.
Oh my God, it's my favorite.
Yeah.
All right, Danny.
We're ready.
We're ready.
Good morning. Good morning. This is the state of Georgia versus Christopher Wildfire.
See you, Dean.
It's been
Later, Dean.
27 years since 1998. And specifically, December of 1998. That was the last time that Melissa Wolfenbarger was ever heard from. At that point, in 1998, Melissa Wolfenbarger was 21 years of age. She was married, had 2 children, had a mother, sister, and after 1998, December, neither one of them ever received a phone call, not a visit, not a card. Not after Christmas of 1998. Not after her mother's birthday in 1999 in February. So you're going to hear that Melissa, at the age of 21, she had experiences when she was a child when she would run away from home. She had experiences during her adulthood after she married this defendant, Christopher Wolfenbarger, when she would not talk to her sister for a period of time. But she would always keep in touch with her mother. Most importantly, she never let a holiday go by without calling or visiting. In November of 1998, Melissa had the intent to visit her mother for Thanksgiving. And they spoke. One of the things that Melissa was really looking forward to was getting a photograph of her pawpaw, her grandfather, the father of Carl Patton, Melissa's grandfather. And that is Carl Patton, Melissa's father. And that is the husband of Norma Patton. She wanted that photo. And Norma Patton expected that at some point between Thanksgiving, even though she didn't get an opportunity to go visit her mom, she would get that photograph. But when Christmas came around, she was concerned that she didn't hear from her. But by the time she got to February, she knew something was wrong. Melissa never would let that much time go without talking to her mom, not especially during that period of time, not on her birthday. Well, it took some time for authorities to be alerted, because you're going to hear that Melissa wasn't reported missing until January of 2000. And that was because this defendant, Christopher Wolfenbarger, you're going to hear for his own words. You're going to hear what he told the detectives, what he told his children. He never looked for her. He never reported her missing. So when Norma Patton and Tina Patton are looking for Melissa, where is she? She's not working anymore. She worked at Waffle House. She's not showing up to her job. She's not looking after her children. She's not checking on her children. No word. Well, the authorities tell them that, well, Melissa is 21. She's married. She's got her own life. If she hasn't called you, then maybe she doesn't want to talk to you. Her husband has reported her missing. And you had to talk to her mom. But not really much for us to do right now. But eventually, Melissa's mother goes to Henry County, and they start an investigation. But even though they talked to friends and family, they even talked to Christopher. And all we get from him is she just left. That's it. That goes on for 3 years. She is unidentified for 3 years. And that takes us to really when we locate the remains of Melissa Wolfenbarger. They were located on 2 different days. April 29th, June 3rd, 1999. Now, April 29th, George McKeitry is driving on the area and heard questions about Avon Avenue. That location is the location of Action Glass Company. You're going to hear that is the location where Christopher Wolfenbarger works. Glass Company has a manufacturing plant. They have industrial equipment at this location. That's where he works. Although they had no reason to think that was anything significant at the time, because in April 29th of 1999, all they knew that there was a head in the roadway, partially, fully, pretty much fully decomposed. And Mr. McKeitry, George McKeitry, is driving on in that area on Avon Avenue, and he sees something that he thinks is kind of odd. So he stops and looks at it, goes and gets his daughter and comes back, and he can see what clearly is a human head. That's something that he would tell you he couldn't believe with his own eyes, what he couldn't believe it. Well, that begins the discovery and really the process of trying to identify that skull. That's those same detective, the lead detective at that time, Dale Kelly. You're going to hear from the Fulton County Medical Examiners, investigators, Stephen Miller. They were all out there at the location on Avon Avenue, April 1999. Left evidence and photographs, some of which you'll see. Ultimately, they start looking for information on who this could belong to. Then you find the extremities on June 3rd, 1999. As these extremities are found, everything but torso, so everything but the midsection of Melissa Wolfenbarger is located. Fingers, and you'll hear from the detectives, you'll hear from the medical examiners. When the skull was found, it had a portion of the spine attached to the skull, and it appeared as though it had been severed or removed with some type of circular saw. The extremities were examined. Detectives, medical examiners, the anthropologists who worked for the Fulton County Medical Examiner's Office, they observed signs of 2 marks. The anthropologist describes the different lines on the bones as what happens when a saw is attempting to catch a groove and actually make a cut. But you see the bones where there's the saw marks on the finger of Melissa Wolfenbarger.
I got something we got to watch real quick.
Okay, cool. Can I just say, I've been making my pizza once a week, and this week's pizza is fucking delicious. Oh my God. Pat on my own back. Woo.
What you got on the pizza? What's on the pizza?
What's on the pizza? So fresh mozzarella, some freshly grated Parmigiana, and basil. I did use jarred sauce. I used Rayo's, but next time I'll make my own. Oh, it's so good. And I used the quick rise yeast, excuse me, but I'm going to transition into the regular yeast, but you have to make really good yeast. You can do it the same day, but I've been watching a lot of YouTube to see the best way to make it. And the best way seems to be to ferment the dough. Like my dad used to make pizza. He used to make pizza when we lived in Bayside. He made 16 pizzas. It was the best pizza I ever had in my life. He made 16 panettones too in our little kitchen. So
I'm hungry now.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mary B. What did you eat for dinner? What did everybody have for dinner?
I had McDonald's.
All right. Okay. Well, giddy up. Good for you.
Anything yet? I got to get through these videos so I can eat. I'm hungry.
Oh, damn it, Danny.
Certainly here.
You got to eat, brother.
Yeah. We'd be
Thanks,
good.
chat. Yes, it's very good.
It appears to be able to see ridges on the bone where that's all. But even on June 3rd, 1999, they didn't have these cases connected. They were found about 50, 60 feet from each other in that same area. They didn't have a basis to connect to. So they were in the medical examiner's office as 2 separate case files. Skull found and extremities found almost 2 months later. It's expected that the cases may be connected, but they didn't have He didn't have what you needed to actually combine and connect the cases and say they were the same person. But what do you do at the beginning of a homicide investigation? The first thing that law enforcement does, especially when there's evidence of foul play, as in this case, when you find out who the victim is, who the person is, you go look at the background. And what did they find when they looked at what Melissa's life was like when she was alive?
Yeah, so we started talking. This is Diane G's super chat in the glare earlier. She says there's plenty of me to go around. I like silly topics mostly because my attention span is pathetic. Jess and BLT both do good work. At Rat House Media and the CHATRATS are my favorite.
Diane is the best. She's shouting us out all over town. She's the greatest. Thank you so much, Diane G.
Thank you, Diane G.
Love her.
Yeah, she kicks ass. What's up, Sammy?
Who's she talking with? Did she have conflict with him? Is she married? What was her marriage like? Were there instances of abuse in the marriage? Had her husband ever been charged with anything related to that abuse, like hitting her? They looked at that information, and I'll tell you that at the time they did find the identity and were able to determine the identity of Skull and the Trinities, Christopher Wolfenbarger was the primary suspect. I'll just tell you that. He was the person, the main person that they were looking at. He wasn't the only person, because you got to conduct a thorough specific investigation, but they had evidence that Christopher and Melissa were involved in a multiple relationship, that Christopher was abusive, that he had struck her on multiple occasions. They had evidence that he had caused a black eye, that she had witnesses that observed bruises on her neck. They had evidence that at some point Melissa applied for a protective order to prevent contact with. You're also going to hear that on the day that Christopher was ordered to come to court, March 29th, ordered to come to court on July 29th, 1998, you will see that that same day, Melissa appeared and requested for that case to be dismissed. Roughly 78 days after she was hit, 7 days after she went personally and applied for a protective order, 7 days after that, she goes back down to the courthouse and asks for it to be dismissed out of the prosecutor. You're going to hear from a lot of witnesses. In this case, you're also going to hear from the domestic violence expert. And that domestic violence expert will be able to explain that that is not uncommon at all. The victims of domestic violence to come back and say, I want to prosecute. And you're going to hear about some of the reasons why that can happen. And that was the 21st of July, 1998. Officer Marlon Sutton responded to the resident at 824 Brookline Street in Atlanta. That was marital residence of Christopher and Melissa Wolfenbarger, the family home.
Somebody asked earlier, where's Mary Whitcomb? And there she is.
I think it was Janine.
Yep.
Yes, it was.
There she is. She's here, hanging out.
So nice to see you, Mary. Hugs.
Yep.
Hugs, Mary. Happy that you're here. You see, Danny, we summoned her.
Summoned her.
Summoning, it's a thing.
Works every time.
Yep, you betcha. Happy you're here, Mary. We missed you.
Christopher was staying at the time. When Marlon Sutton arrived at that location, it was a response to a domestic violence incident. And when he arrived, he got an opportunity to view Melissa Wolfenbarger, to see her in person. What he observed was someone that had bruises, someone that had been attacked, someone that was hysterical and afraid. He didn't see Christopher there that day. He wasn't there, he left. So she was instructed to do as she did. You don't feel safe, go and apply for a protective order, which is what she did very much. You want to see those documents you last week. The day after she goes down and applies for a protective order. By the time this case comes up, on March 1999, you'll see this document, particular state court documents, actually filing the formal charge of battery against this defendant. 1998. By the time it comes to the court, they can't find Melissa. Can't find her in March 1999. No way of knowing, a month and a half later, Ed was found in front of the job. Now, I'm going to say this too. Less than a minute drive from his house. Been walking distance. Yeah, you can go to bed. April 29th. From the job at Avon Avenue. And you got the location of Avon Avenue itself. So this is the Action Glass Company location right here.
Right on. That is exactly what Discord is for. So we can find us some good content to watch on here. I really want to watch a bunch of trial coverage, but we just hadn't had any good trial coverage to watch. So. The last one we started them was like, shit, this dude is fucking guilty. This fucking, he dropped his damn driver's license in the buckets and fingerprints all over the outside. It's just went and bought the knife that morning. Come on, man. Just Googled a bunch of shit, how to dismember.
This is where Christopher Wolfenbarger worked. You'll see this map, and witnesses will explain. Witnesses that were at this location in April of 99 when her head was located. You'll see on the photograph, there'll be a sewer here, and you'll see where her head is located here. Within about 120 feet from his job. And then in June, you'll see where the extremities, the sawed-off legs of Melissa Wolfenbarger are found in this area. The detectives will tell you when they examined the location, it appeared as though it's on Avenue here in the bag, right where the head was located, from this area out onto Avon Avenue. So when they were able to make a connection, they come back with cadaver dogs, and they go back and look in this area, and that's how they find the extremities.
I mean, what does that mean? What does it mean to combine shows? Is that like touching tips or what? What is that? I don't think you can cross the streams.
That's how they find the June 3rd, 1999 legs, remaining parts of the found. We never found a torso, the remaining parts of the found in this spot. And give you a perspective of where his job is, where Brookline Street is. This is actually Glass. This is the junkyard where the extremities were found. Here is the location of the sewer where the head was found. And less than a minute drive is Brookline Street where Melissa and Christopher Wolfenbarger reside. Now, in 1999, you don't have the Atlanta Beltline. You don't have these buildings. This area is primarily wooded. But that is a location in the proximity of Christopher Wolfenbarger's job, to where his wife's head was found, to where his wife's legs were found, and where they lived. This is a case about domestic violence. In addition to the evidence of the physical bruises on the person of Melissa Wolfenbarger, you're going to hear from her family. Her mother knew about the July 1998 attack. Melissa told her about it. She told her mother how Christopher was upset, wanted her to come back, and how he struck her in the face. How he grabbed her, dragged her by the hair. Nobody was arrested. Her mother was one of the persons that she told about that July incident. You're also going to hear from her sister, Tina Patton, who occasionally worked. Well, one time in particular in 1998, it was a 2 or 3 month period where Tina Patton, Melissa's sister, worked at a Waffle House. I believe it was Virginia Avenue Waffle House, and worked at a few Waffle Houses that year. Melissa didn't take her. But during that period, in the early part of 1998, Melissa and Tina Patton worked at the Waffle House. And she would tell you that there was one day that she observed while she was working with Melissa during that period, she observed marks on.
See, Mary B, this is exactly why I'm waiting to get to the defense attorney's opening statements. And you're going to see another attorney with Mary B's favorite ponytails.
Ah, yes.
Around the sides.
He's no small Seagal.
She knew immediately.
It's a big cigar.
He's a big Seagal. He is Seagal-esque. I would say yes. It's true.
Okay. This is wild. And, you're going to hear from a man that Melissa would have seen right when she died. You're going to hear that Melissa planned on leaving his defendant. You're going to hear from his own mouth that they weren't on good terms when she died, when she went missing. Thomas Dixon was also working at a Waffle House where he met Melissa Wolfenbarger. And towards the end of 1998, they started seeing each other. And at one point, Melissa was staying in a lodge or hotel with Thomas Dixon. So he'll tell you that he was fully aware that she was with this defendant, Christopher Wolfenbarger, and he'll tell you that she wanted to leave. And during that week, she was staying with him. She fully planned on doing that, but decided to go back to him, to Christopher in particular, to see her children. She missed him. And Thomas Dixon will tell you that the last time he saw Melissa Wolfenbarger, Christopher Wolfenbarger came up to that Waffle House. Melissa and Christopher had a talk, and Melissa got hysterical, started crying. Thomas Dixon will tell you that he went outside to talk to Christopher and told him that he has to leave until 9 o'clock, when she did something. You're going to hear Thomas Dixon tell you that when Christopher left, he peeled out in his Volkswagen, and that was the last time he saw Melissa. He'll tell you that she never came back to work at Waffle House. She never called, she never texted. And that is the evidence to show that's consistent with what you hear from her mother and sister regarding the last time anyone ever saw her. And as I said, she goes unidentified for 3 years. During this period, the medical examiner that is working in Fulton County is also working in Twiggs County, and is first attempting to determine if a headless corpse that they located in Twiggs County could potentially be connected with this skull they find in Avon in Atlanta. That was one thing they were looking into. There were several missing persons in and around the state of Georgia, and they were attempting to get dental records for it, repaired. There were tooth extractions that were done during this period, but all in the attempts to find the identity of the person who that skull belonged to. There were attempts to conduct reconstruction. And what further confused it is the anthropologist plots skull dimensions on the scale, and you get a range. Sometimes those ranges overlap. So at some point, they'll tell you that her skull looked like it had been run over, damaged. And she, at some point, the anthropologist thought she could have been skull there. All this was going on during this period from 1999, April, when they located the skull, June, when they located the extremities. All this is happening during this period, trying to find out who these remains belong to. And ultimately, Melissa doesn't get identified until 2003. And what triggered the identification ultimately is the arrest of Melissa Wolfenbarger's father. You're going to hear that Melissa Wolfenbarger's father essentially pled guilty to committing murder himself, committing multiple murders himself. And when he was arrested, it was a notorious publication, it was a notorious arrest, it garnered a lot of attention. You're going to hear that Carl Patton asked the lead detective when he was arrested after he confessed. He asked the detective, told him that his daughter was missing for 3 years, he had no leads. He asked if he could find his daughter. Well, the detective contacted the Fulton County Medical Examiner's office. We had this unidentified skull they found 3 years ago. And with Carl Patton's statement, they obtained the medical bill records from Melissa Wolfenbarger's dentist, William Grant. Now, pediatric practice in the 80s and 90s, he obtained his Melissa's original records, x-rays, and they did Dr. Harry Hoffman, the dentist, the medical examiner's office, conducted an examination, looked at the x-rays, looked at the fillings, looked at the dimensions of the teeth, and was able to make a conclusive determination that the skull that was found in April 1999 was in fact the skull that belonged to Melissa Wolfenbarger, that the dental records matched the impression that she took from the skull. It was matched. That's when all the location of the job, that's when all the location of the house, the location of the extremities, and the skull between the job, that's when all that comes in. And that's already a suspect. That's when they're really focusing on this. You know what he says? Same thing. She just left. Then he says, oh, well, I dropped off at the train station. You're going to hear those statements from him. And you're going to hear the detective's question about those statements in that explanation. As I said, the skull was identified by an apostle. There were 2 medical examiners during that period in 1998 when he first started, in 1999 when he first started their examinations. Dr. Carol Terry and Dr. Joseph Parker. Dr. Joseph Parker is no longer living, but you will hear from Dr. Carol Terry, who will tell you that she examined the extremities. She'll tell you that she examined the skull and that they appeared to have evidence of tumors. And she'll tell you that her expert opinion is that it was Wolfenbarger was murdered. The circumstances of her lifestyle, how she was living, what's happening to her, the circumstances of her remains, the condition that they were found in, was entirely likely that she was murdered. That's what she'll tell you. Tina Pat is a sister of Mrs. Wolfenbarger that you hear from at some point today. Melissa told her that Chris was responsible for the bruises on her neck. You'll hear from more Pat, Melissa's mother. She was told about battery in July of '98. Melissa told her mother that she wanted to leave this defendant. She told him that he was abusive. You'll hear from Thomas Gibson. Melissa was in. Probably one of the last persons that Melissa saw. He also has information he's going to tell you about how abusive this defendant was when Melissa's on out. And you're going to hear from Christina Garrett. Christina Garrett is the daughter of Melissa Wolfenbarger and Crystal Wolfenbarger. And the one thing she will tell you is that she recalls her mother. One thing that kind of stood out is she just remembers her mother kind of disappearing one day. And she'll tell you that one of the oddest things that she cannot reconcile is almost immediately after Melissa has vanished, this defendant essentially just removed all of her stuff out of the house. You can see the picture of the mother along with things of that nature. She's gone. While she was growing up, she would constantly ask him, where's my mother? And you would expect that you would have heard an answer at some point without the explanation where she would tell you that he never answered her question. He never told her how to look for her. He never told her I had to report her this. Nothing. In fact, she would tell you that this defendant would tell her while he was growing up that he knows how to get rid of everybody. He knows how to not get caught. He also told his daughter, and you'll hear this from her mouth, that he had a place to go and run if he needed to. Now, Christina Wolfenbarger grew up and basically being cared for by Kathy Wolfenbarger, Christopher Wolfenbarger's biological mother. She lived in the house until she was able to leave when she became an adult. You're going to hear that when she left the house, her grandmother, and she was able to get out her own, that's when law enforcement gets that information. Around 2015, 2017, that information about what he told her while she was doing. You're going to hear from Dorothy Jones. That Dorothy Jones is a resident of that neighborhood at that around the 800 Wolfenbarger Road area, close to the actual last company where Christopher Wolfenbarger worked, close to the location where Melissa Wolfenbarger's skull was located, close to the location where Melissa Wolfenbarger's remains were located. Dorothy Jones knew that location, and essentially what she's going to tell you is she pretty much hung out with Christopher pretty much every day during that period. She remembers him. She remembers Melissa. She remembers seeing signs of Melissa being abused. She would tell you that she saw Melissa with a black eye herself. That she didn't punch her eye. She's also going to tell you that she's heard them fighting at that house last week. Probably the most disturbing thing she's going to tell you is that she saw him every day for about a 10-year period. And just one day, Melissa was gone, never saw her again, and Chris was gone. And she says Not on the gun, but just kind of left all the stuff. It's in. You're going to hear about the signs of trauma. There will be some photographs that you'll see. Solely for the purpose of illustrating the tool marks, the mechanical device was used to disconnect the members of the Wolfenbarger. And most importantly, you'll hear the defendants on stage during that 1999 period. He told the officers that he was fired because the owners thought he stole salt. He admits to borrowing it. He admits to using it to the top off his car. They never got the salt back. And you'll hear from the anthropologists, the detectives, the medical examiners, that there are signs that Melissa Wolfenbarger's remains have been solved. You also hear about the day he was arrested in 2024. And it did not go like a typical execution.
I think the camera guy likes the ponytails too, Mary B.
Of a warrant for homicide, because it took quite a bit of time to locate this offender. In fact, they didn't locate him in the residence portion of the house. They located him inside area of the garage that was situated in the living space. They found him in a something that looks the evidence showed it has the appearance that it was created for the purpose of the house. That's what the evidence is going to show. After about 40 to 50 minutes, they get the dogs, and you just can't hide from the dogs, right? The dogs hit, come on out of there. You see, that's what's going to hit. But he crawls out of there after an hour. And evidence is going to show he knew exactly what that was going. In your termination, your decision as to why. I submit to you, you'll be clear. You'll be clear. You were there to find him, arrest this defendant for the murder of his wife. Arrest this defendant for dismembering his wife. You were there to arrest him and hold him accountable for taking Melissa Wolfenbarger from her mother and sister, most important, her children. At the conclusion of this case, the evidence, testimony, the exhibits, you will be left with one decision, and that's to
I got the next guy's stuff on something different, so maybe the sound's better.
No. Maybe the focal point is better too.
I know. Why are we staring at those guys the whole
Man.
time?
Just focus on Big Cigar.
I mean, do we really want to sit there and watch the guy? I mean, yeah, I want to see what his expressions are. To me, body language is means a lot, but do I want to watch this, potential fucking demonic asshole who dismembered his wife? Like,
I know, it's
let's
crazy.
watch The Witness,
And I can't even see him. His friggin' lawyer's in front of him chewing on his
I'm gonna
sunglasses.
watch this one more time.
Right.
Watch this one.
Just being Seagal.
And Janine, I don't want you to laugh, dear, because I can't tell if you're laughing on the video or if you're laughing on.
It's very
Sorry.
It's very.
It's too confusing. Yeah.
What's up, CHATRATS? Welcome to another installment of Rat House Media. I'm Danny Thomas, whatever that is.
You're a loser, guys. Danny, Connor's trying to get your attention.
All right, so I had to watch it first. It's like Dean sends you something. You're just gonna play it.
You don't
That's
trust
true.
Dean or Connor?
Oh.
Come on.
Oh, you're not a tough guy. Hurry up. I'll fucking promise you that.
Oh, my sweet Jesus.
That's rad. Throw in this fucking lake. What's gonna happen? No, fuck you both. This is fucking bullshit.
And he's got a heart of gold, bud. What an intimidator.
Let's fucking go, man. Hey, fucking told you. You want to know? You want one too? Guys.
Stay down.
I got it all on record. Bang! Bang! Come on, man. Bang!
That's kind of embarrassing in front of an audience like this.
Get out!
Oh,
Hey. Hey. Enough!
He'll say when it's enough, big boy.
oh my God.
Ouchtown population, you, bro! Fuck out of here! No, it's not gonna go well. It's not okay. Take him home or get him fucking out of here. Fucking get moving! I said stop looking like an idiot! Joni loves Chachi!
Look at that form. That left arm way out is the usual style.
Wow, beautiful. Right off the bat. He delivers on the goods. Look at him pump up this crowd.
And the guy's like, he must be like, listen, what do you think I'm trying to do? You chucklehead.
Do you even watch the freaking show, Lolly?
That's hilarious.
Can I laugh now?
Yeah.
I muted myself. Kudos, Connor. That was great.
Still keeping to that. That's good though. That's hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
Good job, Connor.
Thanks,
All
Connor.
right,
Hey, MJ.
Get ready for the ponytail there, Mary B.
Oh,
You ready?
yay.
Ready?
You have the
Ponytail.
camera off. Just make an opening statement.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, you may proceed.
Look at it. Look.
He's kind of cute, Mary B. He's got a
We
look.
can all agree that Melissa Wolfenbarger did suffer a tragic death. And you haven't yet heard the extent of which she had suffered tragic life. But the extent of her suffering in life and in death had nothing to do with Christopher Wolfenbarger. The state's story begins correctly. This is a case about a horrifying discovery of human remains that later became identified as Melissa Wolfenbarger's. But the evidence will show you over the next few days that the state's story has gaping holes in it. And that the state is going to ask you effectively to imagine in order to connect the dots between those gaping holes. To fill the gaps, if you will. What the state has declined to tell you in this case is far more important than what they have told you. And your job over the next few days is going to be to see those gaps, to refuse to imagine, and to demand proof of all the elements of the crime that is charged beyond a reasonable doubt. You're going to hear evidence, some of it from their own witnesses, that multiple other individuals could have had something to do with Melissa's death, starting with her own parents. You've heard mention already of the Flint River murders. Melissa's father, Carl Patton, committed a string of murders in the late 1970s. He was suspected of those murders for a long time. He was investigated, but they were not prosecuted and proved until 2003, 4 years after Melissa's disappearance and death. You'll be presented with evidence that Norma Patton, his wife, helped him directly commit at least 2 of those murders, to dispose of the bodies, to clean up the crime scenes, and to wrap up the bodies and dispose of them in ways that are somewhat similar to the way Melissa's remains were found. Carl, Melissa's father, died in prison last December. Melissa's father eventually confessed to killing 5 people. Some of those were for personal revenge. Some of those were contract killings for money. And at least 2 of those were murders of his own friends because they knew too much. All of the victims were either close friends or family members. In one case, Carl knew how to stage a crime scene. He turned what was a shooting to look like an accident of a car on train tracks.
Yeah, I object to the defense's content of their opening statement. The statements made by counsel are just simply irrelevant to any issues that are presented during this trial.
As previously discussed, they're going to be relevant to third-party guilt and motive story.
Wow. An objection during an opening statement.
Yeah, that's ballsy.
Serious right there.
Wait, where did we see that? We saw that recently in one of the trials with shit. I forget. Lonely would know. But do you guys remember that? Damn it. I don't remember. Does anybody in the chat remember? There was an objection during yeah, Lolene may know. It's okay. It's okay. It's a test question. That's
We'll
all right.
figure it out sometime.
Yeah. One day. Carry on.
It's pretty ballsy though. That's good for us. Maybe there'll be a little lawyer.
Indeed, yeah.
Go back and forth.
I'm going to overrule the objection on relevance grounds. I am, however, going to request that you, in line with our earlier discussion pre-trial, limit some of the details unless and until that evidence is presented to the jury.
Oh, Calypso, yes. Thank you. Maybe that's the one I'm thinking about.
Thank you.
Satisfactory.
Yes, sir.
Melissa's mother in 2 of those murders was a co-defendant. She confessed to planning 2 cold-blooded murders, cleaning up the blood, bleaching the floor, etc. And the murders from which the name that comes to those murders is the Flint River murders is because one of those bodies was dumped in the Flint River, the other in the Altamolty River. And the only reason Norma didn't go to prison like Carl did was because she got immunity to testify against him. And she'll be here to testify this week. The evidence will show that there is also a Patton family associate who also had very strong motives to kill Melissa. We're trying to get him prosecuted for allegedly molesting her in the 90s, and also.
Well. Are you guys ready?
Oh my God, I'm so excited.
We're about to debut the new Next Witness short.
Such a big moment for the chat.
Yay, cool.
Let it go.
He gets very excited when he talks about the canon. Last year he said, and it was awesome.
You saw, correct?
Correct.
And what did you do in furtherance of making a determination about whether or not that was possible?
Certainly. So myself and one of our technicians at ARCA, we designed and developed a pressurized air cannon. So it was capable of firing a projectile such as a drinking glass at the taillight. So it essentially, you can think of it kind of as a giant cannon, but it had a barrel, and then there was a valve that would open rapidly. Directly behind that was a pressurized vessel. And depending on the pressure, the PSI of that vessel, would determine essentially the speed at which that glass would be projected into the taillight.
These guys are mythbusters.
Literally built a cannon.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
That's excellent.
Awesome.
So well
Thanks, Next
done.
Witness.
Wow.
Very well done. Yes.
Look at the beginning of it.
Oh, it's us.
It is.
He gets very excited when he talks about the canon. Last year he said, and it was awesome.
You saw, correct?
Correct.
And what did you do in furtherance of making a determination about whether or not that was possible?
Certainly. So myself and one of our technicians at ARCA, we designed and developed a pressurized air cannon. So it was capable of firing a projectile such as a drinking glass at the taillight. So it essentially, you can think of it kind of as a giant cannon, but it had a barrel, and then there was a valve that would open rapidly. Directly behind that was a pressurized vessel. And depending on the pressure, the PSI of that vessel, would determine essentially the speed at which that glass would be projected into the taillight.
These guys are mythbusters.
Literally built a cannon.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
That's excellent.
That was such a classic moment.
I like how you put them all together. That was cool.
Yeah,
That
that's really
reminds me of
cool.
the scene in The Matrix when he's talking to the architect.
So I've told you guys how my late husband Andrew reminds me of Dr. Wolf. It's that exact clip that reminds me of Andrew. Like Andrew would totally have like it just that thing, and that's the thing that I sent to my kids. I was like, "Who does this remind you of?" And they're like, "Dad." So funny.
Wow.
Yeah, he looked like him too. He had a similar look. So yeah, he was a handsome guy. There's no doubt. Yeah.
MJ, how was
Anyway.
Six Flags?
Yep.
It was good. It was hot as hell. I'm like, I think I have like heat exhaustion. I've had a fever all day.
Oh my God, MJ.
Did you go to the water park at all?
No, my stupid kids didn't want to.
Oh.
Oh, MJ, it's a bacteria frap, like Jerry Seinfeld says. It's like a petri dish. It's a human petri dish. All of those goddamn water parks, God only knows what you're gonna pick up.
It's true, but when it's hot out, it's a
I
good
know,
thing. Or you
I
can
know.
just go over to where
Lazy
like, the log
River's your
flume is.
friend. Yeah.
Yeah, and like let the log flume splash you.
That's true. The thing that splashes fresh chlorinated water, anything like that is fine. But
Heavily chlorinated.
heavily like take a shot of bleach on the side.
Yeah, you wanna
Chase it.
smell that.
Take a bleach chaser. Oh, well, are you home now or what you need said? Rubicon.
We got home. I think it was like 1 o'clock. We got home.
Next witness is right. Take them. Get them in that germ pool.
Hey
so
man, I have a stellar immune
build
system, and
up
I
their
think it's
immune
from all the
system.
Yeah, it's true. It is true, but you could tip too far in the other direction. Just saying. I mean, there are places. I
Yeah.
remember when I took my kids to Sesame Park, the Sesame Street, and Elmo was big. This was in like the early 2000s, and I remember I was just like, "Oh my fucking god!" Like I felt like bugs crawling all over me. It was disgusting. It was just like, kids just doing whatever, and the parents were completely checked out. And then when I went to Hershey, I don't know what Hershey is like now, but Hershey was so clean comparatively, and I was just like, "Oh, thank God, a clean park."
How about the ball pits at like McDonald's?
Oh,
We
for
used to hang out in
fuck's
those
sake! Oh,
all the
Jesus!
time, and now I'm just like, oh my god, why would I do that?
It's true, but like I guess in a way, like Gen Z is like indestructible because of that. Maybe we should talk to Lolene about that. Like I wonder generationally because we did all of that bullshit, all the blow up houses and the nonsense and the ball pits. I wonder if but then again, like Gen X was out in the wild. I mean, we're feral, so I wonder who has like the better immunity, but
Millennials.
yeah. There you go. You think? Yeah. That's the ball pit generation.
100%.
Yeah.
Millennials are who we're gonna have to eat during the apocalypse. These little guys, little soft hands, little video hands and shit. Ain't got no sunburn because they ain't been outside. Yeah, they crisp right up.
Oh my
Because
God,
his
forget it.
father
My kids used to
later
look
turned
like
out, to his
geishas when I
knowledge,
brought
was
them to
one
the
of
beach.
Carl's victims.
Oh, you wrapped them up tight.
Oh my God, would slather on and they were so embarrassed. And then here I'd come, I'd have my UPF clothing and my hat and I'd be a geisha. And that's what they say. Like Janine makes your kids look like geishas. But you know what? They're not going to be wrinkled. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, can you
And
guys believe the star-studded cast we've had in the chat lately? Like Next Witness is just out there.
yay, next witness, Baker. We had like the OG, right? Was of the creators was Aussie. Aussie came up on panel with us. God bless her. I miss her. And then Mazza came in last night. I was like, what the hell? For
Yeah,
real?
we're making it. We're making it, guys.
There you
Yeah.
go.
Mazza came in last night.
That was awesome. It was nice to
What
see
the
him.
hell?
Scotty McGinnis hung out like all
Oh
night.
yeah,
Oh, Scott
MJ doesn't know.
McGinnis. But Scott McGinnis has been in the chat before, but it was nice to have him back.
So long.
Erica, Dina.
Yeah. No, you
It's
wasn't
been a
asleep.
minute for Erica, though.
You weren't
Yeah,
asleep.
hopefully she'll come back.
Just kidding.
Adam Sandler.
Adam Sandler, do you still
Until he
love me?
learned that he
Oh,
was
yeah,
a
Adam
family friend
Sandler.
coming out
Just
from
a
the
clerk.
That's fine.
He's the biggest
That man's
one.
name is Eric Martin Jackson. You'll find out later that at some point Martin learned what Melissa's father had done to his father. And he goes and buys a series of burial plots at a cemetery in 1997, a year before Melissa goes missing, or maybe a year and a half. And he buys them in the very cemetery that Melissa is buried in today. And later, because later he sold those plots to her family. And there are others I'll touch on in just a minute. We expect Norma Patton to come here and testify that she had a loving relationship with Melissa, that Melissa loved her, communicated with her, stayed in touch with her, tried to get away from Christopher's control every chance she could get, so she could come back to Norma's home and see her. But the evidence is going to show that Melissa was actually abused by her mother in her own home for many years and started running away frequently. Her mother locked her in a room all day, every day, from roughly ages 7 to 12. The evidence will show that their home was so foul and dirty that Melissa acquired a foul smell in her clothes and hair that made the other kids at school bully her and tease her. You'll hear evidence from Melissa's next door neighbor and childhood friend that she will detail the abuse that she endured in that house. Moreover, at some point before Melissa ran away, her sister Tina had a pregnancy in that house, delivered the baby in the house secretly, and tried to dispose of it secretly in a clothes hamper in the house. 13-year-old Melissa discovered that baby's corpse. She eventually told school officials, who later called police, and it was at that point that Melissa began running away from her home regularly. Christopher, in fact, first met Melissa because she ran away from home. And through a mutual friend, they met at that mutual friend's house. Now, Christopher and Melissa eventually got married, and they did so fairly hurriedly. They were both 17 when they got married. They had 2 children, very young, in very close succession. When Melissa was still pregnant with her second child in 1996, she went to Christopher's mother, Kathy Wolfenbarger, who will testify that Melissa asked her if she would take custody of their children temporarily. And she did. When Melissa got in some legal trouble the next year in Gwinnett County and went on probation for theft, it was after that that they began to, that's when they moved up to Brookline in July of '98. Their children lived with Christopher's mother in Stockbridge and later in Locust Grove, Georgia. When Christopher and Melissa moved up to Brookline in 1998, the children did not go with them. Now, you've heard some talk about an incident that happened in July of 1998 when Melissa took out charges against Christopher. You also heard the state tell you that Melissa came back and dropped the request for that protective order. What they didn't tell you is the very next day, Melissa calls Kathy Wolfenbarger from the Henry County Superior Court and asks her to please come down and sign the papers to make her custody of those children permanent, to make Kathy's custody of Melissa's children permanent. And Melissa permanently relinquishes her parental rights to those children. One of the reasons Melissa originally gave for giving her children over to Kathy Wolfenbarger, and she tells this to Kathy, and she tells this also to Christopher's sister independently, was that she did not want her parents to have anything to do with her children because they are bad people. After relinquishing her parental rights, Melissa quit working around that time at the Waffle House in East Point with her sister, and for some reason begins randomly working at a Waffle House clear up in Doraville. No one knows why she went up there, but according to everyone, no one had any connections up there, friends or family or anything. But she goes up there and starts working. Melissa started spending more and more time in Doraville, days at a time, working double shifts, spending the night at someone's house, and then multiple days, and days turned into weeks, she would be gone from Christopher's house. And it was at that time that she had started seeing Thomas Michael Dixon, the state mentioned a while ago. We'll have a chance to cross-examine him. In October of that year, Melissa got arrested in Gwinnett County for violating her probation, and she spent 30 days in jail until early November. The terms of her probation required her to do community service. This was outstanding from 1997, still in effect. She was to do community service, she was to take GED classes, and she was to report regularly to her probation officer, and she had not done any of that. And so they arrested her, gave her 30 days in jail, and then released her back on the same terms of probation. Within 1 month, she is already violating her probation again. Although she was not rearrested at that time. So at this point in her life, Melissa was spending as much, if not more, time in Doraville as she was at Christopher's house. She only occasionally came back to see Christopher. She had her own job. She had her own money. She had her own circle of friends. She had her own freedom. She had no obligations to her children. And so when in December of 1998, she did not come home for several weeks or months, Christopher could safely assume she had decided to live her own life on her own terms, wherever she decided to live. Moreover, if Christopher had raised a stink about it at the time, Melissa was in violation of her probation. She would have been arrested. Melissa's mother, Norma, is expected to testify variously, as you've already heard, that when she didn't hear from Melissa at Christmas in 1998, that's when she knew something was wrong. Alternatively, however, she will testify that no, it was not until my birthday rolled around. That's when I knew something was wrong. She will tell multiple versions of this story. In one version of the story, well, let me back up. The evidence will show you that in multiple versions of the story, whichever version she tells, she never reports Melissa missing until 2000, January of 2000. If something was wrong in December of 98, something was wrong in February of 99 on her birthday, something is wrong a month later, a month later, a month later, her mother doesn't report it. She doesn't file a missing persons report until 2000. The human remains in this case, as you've heard, were found on Avon Avenue. It's an industrial area near the west end of Atlanta. The evidence will show that it just so happens Melissa's father, Carl Patton, was familiar with this area. He grew up in a childhood home on Main Street in College Park. It's just a few miles down the road. Further, the evidence will show that Norma and Carl actually went up to Brookline Street right after her birthday in February of 1999. They found Christopher's empty house at that time. They learned from a neighbor that Christopher had moved out sometime between Christmas and New Year's. They also learned that from that neighbor that Christopher worked at Action Glass down on Avon Avenue. So they drove down to Avon Avenue and talked to the people at Action Glass. And they learned that he had been let go there. Again, this is February 1999. Carl and Norma Patton knew where Chris worked and where he lived months before the head was found on Avon Avenue, right beside where he worked. The state is correct that Melissa's mother and sister are going to testify against Christopher. They're going to blame him. They're going to call him a domestic abuser. But there's a lot of context you don't know. Keep in mind, as we've already said, the evidence is going to show that Melissa only met Christopher when she ran away from home. The evidence is also going to show you that Norma Patton has consistently, out of her own mouth, stated that she absolutely hates Christopher. From the very first time she ever saw him, she hated him. She worked and did everything in her power possible to prevent Christopher from seeing Melissa. When he was 16, would not let them date, or tried to prevent them from dating. Tried to prevent Melissa from leaving the house. Tried to prevent them from getting married. She tried to force Melissa onto birth control so that she could not get pregnant. Melissa's older sister joined that opposition to Christopher as well. You'll hear it admitted from her own mouth that she did not like Christopher. No one in her family liked Christopher. And that she tried everything she could perpetually to intervene in Christopher and Melissa's marriage to get Melissa to leave Chris. The evidence is going to show that any claims of abuse or bruises on Christopher's part only began to be generated after Melissa started working with Tina at Waffle House. And the evidence of claims of abuse only come from witnesses who came under the influence of Norma and Tina. Christopher and Melissa, as I said, had two children, Chrissy and Joey. Chrissy was born in August of 1995, Joey 11 months later. Again, the state is going to present testimony from Norma and Tina, who will say that Melissa would never, under any circumstances, have abandoned her children. She would not have just left and never kept contact with her children. Impossible. But we already know that, in fact, she did legally abandon them. And the evidence will show that she also practically abandoned them. As I said earlier, when Christopher and Melissa moved up to Brookline Street, the children didn't come with them. They stayed way back in Stockbridge. The children were raised by their grandmother, believing that she was their mother. In September of 1998, when Melissa...
Oh, was that a glitch in the Matrix? Did you see it?
No, but I see that, Danny, we have a metalhead in the chat now. Scott.
Yeah, Scott, check out my shorts on my channel. Not my shorts on my shorts, but my shorts on my channel. A bunch of metal in those.
Yeah, he's building shit.
Yeah, it's basically
Big
all
Wind is
gaming system for views. Almost to 60,000.
cool music. Oh, metalhead music. Yeah, Scott, you'll enjoy.
Yeah.
Scott, are you a Metallica fan?
You can't be a metalhead without liking Metallica.
There you go, MJ. MJ speaks the truth.
Has anyone added to the Spotify playlist?
No.
No, I have to log in. I have Spotify, but I just haven't. Thank you for reminding me.
Yes, I just saw that today and I meant to do that.
And thank you for making that for us, MJ. We love
I
you.
have like 30 hours of music on there. It's kind of a little ridiculous.
Nice.
Someone else
I
needs
love
to
it.
contribute.
Yep.
Yeah, unfortunately, this isn't the biggest channel in the world, but man,
We're small, but we're mighty.
We're the coolest channel.
That's
it's
right.
to be more than
Just
just a
saying.
channel, obviously. Yeah. Sweet woman doesn't have Spotify either.
Oh my god, you guys. Come on, it's free. Get it.
I am obsessed with
Don't
Spotify.
don't do anything. MJ probably put like a bot in there.
She has
That's
stocks in Spotify.
We'll allow it.
Get it, hurry up so I can get your credit card.
Yeah. You're gonna get a virus.
Yeah, she's gonna be traveling again as soon as y'all all join. Like, where are you? I'm on a cruise.
Large portions of the time with her work friends and her new lover, Thomas Dixon, she rarely returned to Brookline Street, where Christopher was. She even
Right song. I am focusing on this is our second channel. I'm focusing on the watch hours. So I'm about 1,000 watch hours away from having the watch hours. And then I just got to get the 500 subs for the super chats and the memberships. But we want memberships so bad because of when I first started the other one, it was a very small group and Hen was part of that group and Hen made me a little video, just like an intro. Of course, I didn't realize it was a copyright claim every time we played it, but we've been trying to fix it. So our emoji is going to be this little rat in this video. There he is.
Can we get a Fiona emoji too?
Yeah, we kind of need a Fiona.
Level 2 membership, Fiona.
Eat the rats, the crazy-eyed cheese.
Yeah, definitely crazy eyed cheese.
Crazy Eyed Cheese made it out of that video into everything else, though.
Yes. Never forgotten.
Cheese has made it
He'd
into
have
it.
little, like, jazz hands.
Joy loves Crazy Eyed Cheese.
Les hardly ever went down to Stockbridge. You will hear testimony that she rarely visited her children during this time, and that she rarely ever even called them during this time. Whatever Melissa's own personal aspirations might have been in regard to her children, the one thing we do know is the evidence will show that she rarely ever contacted them, and all but forgot about it. You'll hear testimony from Christopher and Melissa's own daughter, who's now grown up, of course. Her name's Christina, some call her Chrissy. She will testify as a state's witness. She will say that she remembers to the day when her mother disappeared and all the pictures and belongings were removed from the house. Again, the evidence will show that she didn't live in that house. She lived in Stockbridge. The evidence will show you that at that time, Chrissy was every bit of 3 years old. Moreover, Christopher and Melissa's children didn't live in that house, as I said. Chrissy will also tell you that years later, she remembers Christopher making these offhand comments.
And enjoy giving those baths because they grow up out of that fast. But make sure you subscribe to my wife's page, Toy74. I dropped it in the chat.
Yeah, Danny, when I used to give my kids baths, I was known for I did my kids' baths and my nephew's baths. There was like 5 or 6 of them in there, and I'd have that shit done in 5 minutes. I would just throw water and soap around, and they'd be done. And then all of like the aunts and uncles would be like, "Oh, just give it to auntie, give it to auntie." And I would shuffle them in I take no prisoners for real.
All right.
But I do miss it. I do. I never thought I would.
Two new songs. So we're gonna listen to them.
Oh yeah.
Nice. So let me see. She knows I like this type of music. I love fucking
Yeah,
instruments.
the crooners.
What, the Pink Panther? It sounds like the Pink
These are
Panther.
Turtle Boy songs. They're
Yeah.
well, you'll get it once it starts. It's good.
Like Frank
Now gather
Sinatra.
round, folks. I got a tale to spin about a fellow with a notebook and a razor wire grin. From the Commonwealth halls to the courthouse door, he's been shaking up the city like never before. Morrissey's dancing, Lally's out of step. KP's stories, well, they just don't prep. With a wink and a pen, he's spilling the tea. Turtle Boy's the name, truth's the guarantee. Boom, swinging with the truth. Oh, the lies don't stand a chance. Exposing every move like a Saturday night dance. From the big shots towers to the streetlight glow, if you've got something to hide, well, now you know. Well, now the whispers get louder when the band starts to play. Files on the table, watch the guilty sway. He don't need no badge, he don't need no crown. Just a sharp eye for snakes in this crooked old town. From Boston's boulevards to Brockton's blocks, he's got more inside scoop than a speakeasy stocks. Every fraud, every fake, every half-baked scheme, he wraps them in ribbon right in front of the team. Hey, I'm swinging with the truth. All the lies don't stand a chance. Exposing every move like a Saturday night dance. From the big shots towers to the streetlight glow, if you've got something to hide, well, now you know. Oh, they call him trouble, they call him brash, 'cause the truth hits harder than a swing band crash. But he'll tip his hat and pour the facts neat when Turtle Boy's work is feeling complete. Hey, I'm swinging with the truth. All the lies don't stand a chance. Exposing every move like a Saturday night dance. From the big shots towers to the streetlight glow, if you've got something to hide, well, now you know. Look it now, folks. Remember, secrets are like bad jazz. They always sound worse when they're out in the open.
Yeah, she'll make a video for it.
That's such a fun one.
It is.
I love the jazz.
This one's good too. It's a little bit more urban than the last one, but still good.
Roll the tape, facts loaded, aim steady, truth heavy. I've been ready, paper stacks in the Chevy. No badge too shiny, no robe too clean. KP talking sideways, receipts on the screen. The Commonwealth fronting like they running the block. Morrissey and Lally ducking heat from the shots. They play politics while the city stays spinning, but I'm pulling case files and your clock still ticking. Truth don't sleep, Turtle Boy on the prowl. Tearing through the lies till the whole town howls. Can't case the truth, can't bury the proof. Every fraud gets lit when he steps with the truth. Check it. Check it. Check it. Check it. Got the drop on the cover-ups, caught in the act. Court doc screenshots, every line exact. From shadow meetings to the handshake deals. I'm the pen that reveals what the gavel conceals. Lally in the chamber, Morrissey on the wire. Commonwealth schemes in a house on fire. No stone unturned, no myth stays intact. I'm the ink in the history they try to redact. Truth, don't sleep, turtle boy on the prowl. Tearing through the lies to the whole town house. Can't case the truth, can't bury the proof. Every fraud gets lit when he breaks in the news. Check it. Check it. Yeah. Check it. Check it. Check it. Whispers in halls, headlines in ink. Every crooked chain got a broken link. From KP's chatter to the courthouse floors. Been exposing the game, and I'm back for more. Truth don't sleep, turtle boy on the prowl. Tearing through the lies to the whole town house. Can't case the truth, can't bury the proof. Every fraud gets lit when he's locked in pursuit. Check it. Check it. Yeah, check it. Check it. Receipts in hand. KP, you done. Morrissey, Lally, we see you. Word. The Commonwealth can't stop it. Turtle Boy's here. Truth is free. Yeah.
Yep, that's another good one. Look at that dude. Looks more like Stabler than he does like Turtle Boy.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a nice
So,
try.
shit, sex crimes here now too. Fuck.
His neck is too big.
Yeah. Stabler hones in on you. You're done, boy. You're done. You're not gonna get away. All right, we got to finish this. They have got to start prepping these courtrooms. Like if the courtroom can't afford it, court TV, it ought to be worth it to them to just be like, here.
Yeah, just
Here's
set up
a
some
really good
mics.
setup. Yeah. Tell the damn attorneys to either stand at the thing or clip on a little.
Yeah, they
mic.
should give them those little things like they have in the Broadway show that sticks out from their head.
Make them put on the headset. With the,
You know, honestly, I don't know. My feeling is a little bit different. I feel like when I think about like Judge Gull and how, well, I'm sure that in Delphi, that's Indiana, right? They televise I would imagine they televise the trials, but you know, we couldn't even see any of that, right? So I feel like this is such I mean, it's hard for broadcasting, right? You know, a la John DePietro, you know, we're broadcasting, but you know, just to have like be front and center to be able to see this is such a treat, right? And I know that there's a lot of playing up for the cameras and all that. That the inception of which was during the OJ trial, famously with Lance Ito, who was a fucking disaster, who contributed to a murderer getting released indirectly. You know, obviously it was a racially motivated jury, but I even with that, with the good and the bad, I still feel like it's just amazing that we can bear witness to this, you know? And like how much shit would the world not know about if we didn't have eyes on all this, you know?
yeah, but they could, even all that you just said, if you take all that into perspective, they can still buy
Yeah.
a fucking couple of good microphones.
That's right.
He knows how to get away with murder.
Start a petition, brother.
Or to put it under the foundation of a house that's being built, so they'll concrete over it, no one will ever find it. And there are various versions of that story. Christopher's son, Joey, who's also now grown up, will also testify, and he will say he was in the room when such comments were made. And that Christopher was speaking in the context of the boasts that Carl Patton used to make, who was a known killer. We'll have evidence in this trial that early in their relationship, Carl hired Christopher to help him in the roofing business. Chris spent time around Carl and heard him say these things. Even Chrissy will admit that when Christopher made such comments, it was contextual within a discussion and had nothing to do with Melissa whatsoever. Chrissy will also admit that everything she knows about the case, she learned from Norma Patton. Remember what I said at the outset. The state's going to present little points of circumstantial evidence, and they're going to ask you to use your imagination to fill in the gaps. Here are some of the gaps I want you to pay attention to. The state will not present any evidence of a cause of death. The state will not present any evidence of a murder weapon. The evidence obviously will show that there were remains that were discovered and that there were marks on the bones. But those wounds are all post-mortem. The state will present you with no evidence of how she died. The state will present no evidence of when she died or where she died. The state will present you with no evidence of where she was dismembered or when or how she was dismembered. They won't present any evidence of how she was transported to the site in the condition that she was. The state will provide claims about a saw that went missing from Christopher's work, allegedly around the time that Christopher was there. No evidence will show, even though the state claims otherwise, that he stole a saw from them or that he was terminated for that reason. Furthermore, there's no proof that the kind of tool that actually made the marks on these bones was a saw. If so, what kind of saw? We have no evidence of what type of saw it would have been. We've got no evidence that will show that markings are distinctive of this reciprocating saw that was taken versus the circular saw he mentioned when he started his story. Furthermore, your common sense will tell you that there are about a literal million saws in the state of Georgia. Anybody can access a saw. Anyone can access a wide variety of types of saws. You'll hear from investigators from the APD. They will admit that once Melissa's remains were identified, they searched Christopher and Melissa's house on Brookline Street. They searched every inch of the home, inside, outside, every room, basement. They sprayed the entire house with a reactive agent that discovers drops of blood. Not a single drop was found. They took paint samples from every room. Why? Because when Melissa's head was examined, there were chips of paint in her hair. There were synthetic fibers in her hair. And forensic evidence will show that. The fibers were, in fact, found to be consistent with some kind of a bath mat or even a carpet, very broad category. When Melissa's remains were the paint samples of her remains did not match any of the paint samples from Christopher's house. There was no match of any fiber from Christopher's house. A pubic hair was found on Melissa's remains. Christopher willingly submitted his pubic hair samples. They didn't match. Head hair samples were found. Christopher submitted head hair samples. The head hair samples didn't match. The medical examiners in this case made DNA analysis of the head almost impossible because one of the medical examiners or anthropologists soaked it in bleach. But the technology still won out in the end. The plastic bags in which the remains have been kept were recently re-examined using the most powerful DNA testing available in modern times, detecting trace amounts of DNA And sure enough, one of those bags returned a profile that was viable for testing against subjects. It said there were at least 5 human contributors touching this bag. 2 of them were male. Christopher submitted his DNA. It didn't match. So the state has some huge gaps it needs to fill. And here's how we anticipate that they're going to try to fill that gap. We expect the state will also call a witness who is somewhat of an expert in the area of domestic violence or abuse. Perhaps you think, well, there's no DNA, there's no fiber evidence, there's no trace evidence in the paint chips. There's the really important evidence must be in the domestic abuse. But just as with the DNA and the paint chips and the fiber, etc., the expert will offer no support for the prosecution's theory in this case, and here's why. She doesn't know anything about the case. She's never interviewed Chris. She's never read a single police report. She's never even talked to the DAs about the facts of this case. Instead, she's simply going to say that she is a domestic violence expert and tell you signs and symptoms of domestic violence. We anticipate that their testimony on those matters will do nothing to prove that Christopher Wolfenbarger is a cold-blooded murderer. She doesn't know anything about him. She knows nothing. And we will ask you when trial is over to reject that level of fake expert testimony. Another thing, the state's going to offer evidence to say Christopher was the last person to see Melissa alive in December of 1998. You've already heard it. But other evidence is going to show
Connor, sounds like
Melissa's
someone's
sister,
jealous,
Tina,
maybe.
actually saw her.
Those are fighting words. Sorry. I had to.
Yeah,
Sounds like
Janine's
someone's
triggered.
jealous.
Triggered.
I think we need to rumble. I gotta stand up for my boys' honor.
You did. You got us all. You just scared the shit out of everybody. That was loud as fuck.
Oh,
Me?
did I? Oh my God.
Oh.
Wow.
Calm
I guess
down.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry I did that, but he aroused my passions and my
I
angers.
heard.
I love you, Connor, but I cannot stand that.
heard.
That cannot stand.
But you woke me up, though. I'm glad you woke me up.
Okay, no problem, brother. Then it was meant to be. Then thanks, Connor.
Mhm. But Connor was. I knew that was going to happen when I put it up there.
Uh-oh.
I just wasn't. I just forgot about it. I was watching Big Cigar.
Yeah, I was. You were watching what, Danny?
Big Cigar.
Oh,
Big
okay.
Seagal.
Big Cigar. He's cute.
Dude, it sounds like they have a case to me.
Cigars are ponytail guys.
Yeah. But this Seagal has Big Seagal has he has like, he has like gravitas, I mean, but listen, Small Seagal brought it. I have to say
I don't
he
see any
did
skull ring here.
he did right by Raul.
Bam! Acquitted. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, right. So we gotta get new earbuds and headsets now. Level 10.
At that time, Christopher had already long moved out of the area. Although Carl Patton was serving 5 life sentences in prison throughout this whole period up until he died last December, that did not stop Norma Patton from firmly expecting he would be paroled at some point. And she began looking into his parole within about 12 years after his life sentence had been served, his first of 4 or 5. And the law technically at the time allowed for someone serving a life sentence to be eligible for parole after 14 years of service in prison. The evidence is going to show you that Norma operated on the belief that the only reason Carl had not been paroled was because his son-in-law, Christopher, had not yet been arrested. she will state explicitly out of her own mouth in a police interview that she believed that as soon as Christopher would be locked up, her husband would be released to come home. And she worked tirelessly for years with the DAs, with the police, and with media campaigns to make sure that happened. Ironically, the evidence will show that the investigators spent hardly any time at all investigating these other potential suspects. No hair samples were taken from them, no DNA samples were taken from them, no pubic hair samples, no.
Yeah, where's Pinky Promises been? I hadn't seen her since I took the week off, and then. But if she really watches this, better get your butt back in here.
Searches
Yeah.
no
Yeah, where the heck
paint chip
has she
samples
been?
taken from their houses.
Miss you, Pinky Promise. Pinky Promises.
No one took DNA samples for this reason from the sister or the accused molester in her home or the friend down the road or anyone else. The evidence will show at most that Melissa somehow died and that someone tried to dispose of parts of her body. The evidence will show that everything beyond that is speculation and imagination. The evidence, as I said, will.
Pauline, what are you doing? Did you get another phone call? That's a long ass phone call. Just wondering.
Show you a cause of death, a weapon, an instrument of death, an incident that led to her death, who dismembered or transported or scattered her remains. There will not be proof beyond a reasonable doubt in this case. There's no DNA, there's no high-powered technology, there's no expert testimony, there's no fiber evidence, no surveillance, no snitches, no co-conspirators, no confession, no eyewitnesses. The evidence will show that the state expects you to fill in all those missing gaps with your imagination. There is no evidence of these charges in this case, and that's why we will ask you at the end of this case to return a verdict of not guilty.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, it's about 12:15, and so we are going to break.
Exactly. But they did some testimony too. Did some testimony. You think we should watch like at least one? See what's going on?
Yes.
Sure.
See what they're talking about here. See how the judges' microphones and shit work.
2 days a week. Let's see this.
Come on, lady.
But in the field as it was discovered.
Yeah, I just felt that I don't see what that adds. It's not necessary to complete any part of the medical examiner's testimony, and I think it's just cumulative in that sense.
Okay. As we move on to 39 through 42, which again, I think it's fair to describe as sort of various photographs of admittedly a body part that I actually can't recognize by what it looks like.
Which one, the first one?
39 through 42. I just have them labeled generally as body parts. One of them might be a leg, but I don't know what I'm looking at because I don't have that training.
So again, we have pictures of body, I think that exact body part in the field. We have a picture of the black bag just like that already in the field. I don't see what it adds to the medical examiner's testimony to show the same photograph in the same way, just on a different table instead of the ground. So I just think that's cumulative and unnecessary.
Okay. So I did look through all of the photographs. And although I did note there's a relatively close-up photograph of the head, Exhibit 16, in the field. I saw distant photographs and closer-up photographs. Maybe 21 is a closer-up photograph, but the rest of them seem to be in the field, seem to be in plastic bags, as opposed to the actual body part that was recovered from inside the plastic bag. 21. Yeah, the 21, I agree with you, does appear to be one body part that was not housed in a bag, and the photograph is taken of it in the field and it's a close up. The rest of the photographs that I see in the field seem to either be not close ups or of plastic bags. And correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Fawcett or Mr. Wilson, but I assume that the state's evidence is going to be that these were recovered to the extent they were in plastic bags at the scene, enough to ensure there were body parts in it, and then it was the medical examiner's job to remove those bags?
That's right, Judge.
Okay. And what about Mr. McDermott, 44 through 47?
Same objection.
And then 50? I don't even know what 50 is. Is it a tooth?
I believe that's, and this is from me talking to Dr. Terry. She wasn't even certain. But she thought it was like the top of the leg at the knee, and that's the cartilage between the knee joints, but maybe, maybe not.
Okay. This was maybe because I don't know what it is or didn't recognize it upon seeing it, probably the least offensive of the photographs that I saw.
It's almost like, rock collecting or something.
Right. But what is the nature of your objection to that particular one?
What does that do for the medical examiner's testimony? Because we're trying to get to the nature of the charges in this case. What does that lend to, relevant to her testimony toward those charges? I don't see any necessity. So we've got just one more body part random. Doesn't really apply to anything. We don't even know what it is.
She wasn't even sure. I'm fine with removing that one, Judge.
Okay. We'll remove 50. Okay. And then we move on to 51, which seems to be a collection of various body parts. Is this after cleaning or before?
I think that this is before clean. I think that's before, Judge.
Okay.
Well, clearly some of the bones have been stripped of any flesh that was on them. So I think you're looking at some of.
Well, that's why I asked the question. Do some of those bones, did they have flesh on them when they were collected? I don't know.
I'm not aware from any description of what was collected in the field and taken from the bags that they were just bones when they came out.
Okay.
So I think these are all, or at least the ones that are just bones here, have been stripped by the medical examiner.
Well, certainly, I don't know why the top portion of the leg, I don't know why that would be, why that wouldn't be stripped, and the ones at the bottom would. But I know that some of the testimony that I expect is that there was at least one animal that had gotten to the bag. There was the possibility of other animals, because the body parts were out in that mud area for several months. And I would say in high conditions, which one thing the doctors will say is they can't, because of the conditions and the variables, they can't say what rate of decomposition it was. And the other point I would say to that is there's going to be some manipulation of the remains so that the medical examiner can examine and look at potential damage. For instance, I don't find anything particularly gruesome about just looking at a bone itself, especially when it's been stripped of flesh, if that's what indeed happened. But the bone in the condition that it is in the photographs when they examine it allow them to see the damage to it. That's what allows them to see the appearance of assault, striking the bone side. For that reason alone, that visual image should be allowed to be displayed for the jury. It aids the testimony of the expert, and it allows for that expert to explain why they believe there are signs of assault on the bones of this body.
Okay. And then I have 53, 54, 57, and 59, which at least to my untrained eye in the absence of evidence seem to me to be an effort to document alleged saw marks, tool marks on the bones.
Yeah, and I was trying to make an effort to include at least one example of each one of those that's independent. But where they're double pictures of the same thing, I think it's cumulative and unnecessary. That's also why I think that, we've got these close-ups where there are tool marks. That's why we don't need a whole table with the bones laid out. That you can't see any tool marks from that distance anyway. That's just cumulative and gory for no other reason. Doesn't document anything the medical examiner did except take the flesh off the bones. But, and maybe I missed one, that's fine, I'll hear about it. But as far as going through the list, I tried to include one example of each specimen that had tool marks that was unique. And I only objected to the ones I thought was cumulative.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just one second, Mr. Fawcett, because I'm going to let you respond. So to be clear, I didn't just limit my review to the numbers that Mr. McDermott mentioned, right? I was looking at them as trying to take them as a whole with particular attention to the ones that you had asserted, looking for things like needless accumulation that would just be gory for no reason versus particular reasons. Again, without any context, I don't know if, for example, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58 are different bones with saw marks in them or different angles of the same saw marks on the same bone.
I can't tell you with definitive accuracy, but my inclination was 54, 55 are the same, just different angles.
And Mr. Fawcett, the point of my asking that question is I believe that the presence of tool marks and the demonstration of them is relevant. Nobody's going to enjoy that process, but it's relevant and needs to be presented. If it is different bones, right, saw marks on multiple bones, I don't think that's cumulative. If it is, unless you anticipate that the medical examiner is going to say that there is a specific reason for two different photographs from, say, two different angles or something like that of saw marks on the same bone, then I would ask the state to endeavor to further limit the photographs. Yeah. So to Mr. That's okay, sorry. So to Mr. McDermott's point, if it is three angles of the same saw marks on the same bone, then perhaps one would be sufficient, unless you're going to tell me that the medical examiner has a particular reason for having taken that photograph in the manner at which it was taken in order to enable them to conduct their examination.
In light of that, I would propose taking out exhibit 55, 58, and 59. I believe that would eliminate, and the intent of including 55 and 54 was that the different angles that they think would aid testimony, but I think that the expert can testify based off of the one photo. So I would propose taking out 55, 58, and 59.
Okay. So
Your Honor, did I already object to 53?
you did?
Okay. I'll wait till, did we talk about that one yet?
No, I wanted to start with the saw mark because it appeared to my eye that your point was that, and I thought that was correct, that there were multiple angles of the same saw marks on the same bone, and absent some particular showing of necessity of multiple angles of it, I wanted to see if we could pare that down. Now, going back to the 53, really it's a group of photographs from, say, 39 to 53, which are the various body parts. As a general proposition, their existence and condition in the field is relevant and admissible, right? Those photographs that document that, as long as they're not cumulative, as long as we don't have 7 photographs of the same thing. I believe that starting with 44, it might be, well, no, I think all of them are. Starting with 35 through 53, they're all in the ME's office, right? Those are all as part of documenting. Okay. Thank you. Other than, Mr. McDermott, is your argument that, I think I heard one argument, which was that they are the photographs 35 through 53 are cumulative of photographs in the field and don't need to be shown again. Do you also assert that photographs between 35 and 53 are cumulative of one another, but there are multiple photographs?
In some cases, yes, Your Honor.
Okay. So the same request I made earlier, Mr. Fawcett, and I trust that you endeavored to already do that. But to the extent that the photographs taken in the medical examiner's office are necessary and relevant to demonstrate how the examiner examined the remains to arrive at their opinions, I think those are relevant and admissible despite their graphic nature. Thank you. But I would also want to avoid needless repetition of the same photograph.
In further, further to the court's instruction, I would propose eliminating 39, 38, and 35. I believe that would eliminate the 2 photographs of the head. It would just be the head and the field. 39 would be that looks like a knee portion to me. There would still be that photograph of that in the field, and it might benefit the jury that it's not as close up as that. And then 35, which is the neck. So
no, 35 is the head.
35 is the head. Okay, so then I would take out 38.
Okay.
And I think 36 and 37 are representative of, I think, both sides of that. Neck columns, I would propose that.
Okay. Mr. McDermott?
Well, I'm fine with those deletions. I would also ask that 53 be deleted because it's repetitious of 56. And although I think there's a question to be asked fairly, on 53, you can see the kind of connective tissue at the far right side. If that was part of the examiner's testimony, that's how part of how the leg was removed, or something of that nature, it would be more relevant. But I would say choose between one of those 2 photos. I would prefer 56 because it's less gruesome.
53 and 56.
They're the same bones from different angles.
Mr. Fawcett?
I'm fine with that.
Okay, so which one?
53.
I'm sorry, you'll remove 53 or you'll remove 56?
I'll take out 53.
Okay. So what I have so far is the state has agreed to remove 35, which is a second photograph of the head, even though we have a close-up of the recovered head in the field, which is remaining in evidence. That the state has agreed to withdraw 38, 39, 53, 50, 53, 58, and 59. So with those agreements to remove those photographs, Mr. McDermott, other than your objection to the nature of the evidence and its graphic nature, et cetera, do you still specifically have other objections you wish to make a record of?
Unless I wrote them down and you have it?
Yes, sir.
Then no.
Okay. Well, to try and be as clear as I can, to make the record as clear as we can, Mr. McDermott moved to exclude 35, and 35 has been voluntarily withdrawn by the state. Mr. McDermott did not move to remove 38. He did move to exclude 39 through 42. The state has agreed to remove 39, but to keep 40, 41, and 42. So to the extent necessary, I'm going to deny Mr. McDermott's motion to exclude photographs number 40, 41, and 42. Mr. McDermott moved to exclude 44, 46, and 47. I'm denying that motion. As to Mr. McDermott moved to exclude photograph 50, the state has agreed to remove that one. Mr. McDermott moved to exclude 51. That motion is denied. Mr. McDermott moved to exclude 53. 53 has been voluntarily withdrawn by the state. Mr. McDermott moved to exclude 54, 57, and 59. That are various angles of saw marks. Other photographs in the packet that the state has offered, including 55, 58, and 59, are various angles of those same saw marks. And the state has agreed to withdraw 55, 58, and 59. And based on that showing, the defendant's motion to exclude 54 and 57 are denied, and the defense's motion to exclude 59 is granted because the state agreed to withdraw it. Anything else, Mr. McDermott, about the photos?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Fossett, anything that we need to take up before we get started with the evidence?
No, Judge, if I could just have a few minutes to take out the exhibit.
I was just going to say, yeah, and I'll run through them again. You have, my notes indicate agreed to withdraw 35, 50, 53, 58, 59.
Is that going to give me enough time for a comfort break?
Yes, although I do have all my jurors, so as soon as y'all can get back and be ready, we'll be ready. Turn a little bit more so you're facing the deputy so you won't have your back to the jury. That's good, sir. Now, are you able to raise your right hand, sir? Okay. If you would, thank you.
I feel like that was my teaching. That they said that the MC after he gave he already.
Okay. Mr. McEachern, this is the judge talking behind you, so don't worry about that. If you could, just because you don't have a microphone, if you could just try to speak up when you're answering questions to make sure everyone in the courtroom can hear you. Okay, sir? Thank you. Go ahead, Mr. Wilson.
Thank you, Your Honor. And you live in Atlanta, sir? How long have you lived there?
28 years.
And did you ever live in the area of Avon Avenue?
No microphone for the freaking witness stand. Come on, man.
They better fix that shit.
Yeah, how the fuck are we supposed to hear them?
Oh, it's going to be a rough trial, folks.
Yeah.
We'll soldier through.
Yeah, but we're
Where
done.
do
So
I gotta go to give them a mic?
we have come to the end of the show. Nice.
Good times.
We just streamed 12 freaking hours, man.
Oh my God.
We're almost at 12 hours. It's close enough.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, almost.
But the views and stuff are good on this show, even though it wasn't a Turtle Boy show.
Yeah. Cool.
We had
Yeah,
some
I
great
mean,
topics.
what's
Gotta
that,
do it.
Marvin?
I said we had some great topics.
Yes, yes, absolutely. You done good picking.
Well, we'll try to stay out front of these trials. So once the trial starts, like the Adelson trial, we'll be right in on it, ready to go.
Yes.
Statements.
Justice for Dan Markell.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy.
Yep.
Thank you for hanging out, Angel, Lawlene. I didn't know Lawlene had to go to the grocery store. And then she
Aw.
got some food. and she got
Lauline, Angel, brother,
That's what I'm-
MJ, Mary.
some spaghetti.
Have a wonderful night, all.
Yes. You too, Mary B.
Right,
Night
so
chat, Rubicon,
Connor, the video was
Connor. Like
hilarious.
Metallica is the greatest band of all time. Connor, we may actually, so I'm just thinking about this. We may be in agreement because if you hate Metallica because of the Black Album, Load and Reload, we may be in concurrence there because the middle of Metallica fucking sucks. Like, I don't listen to it. I love the Black Album, but it's not Metallica. They're not even playing their instruments. So
No,
we have to
Scott,
get a deeper dive.
Metalhead, join our Discord. It's like a backstage for the YouTube live. You can post your music. We're about to get pizza recipes and shit. It just goes
Yeah,
down.
I can't wait.
Yeah, you've
Yes.
been here a while. You're more than welcome to join, hang out with us.
Cool.
Yep. But this song that I'm about to play, this thing is popping.
All right, brother. Time to close the Rat House nightclub down for the night.
Close. Last call.
Last call on the Rat House.
Call.
We'll see y'all in Discord.
See you there.
Peace out, loser.
CHATRATS, y'all ready? Light it up. Light it up. It's that time. Let's roll.
Got the crew on the dial and we setting out east. Rat Daddy at the wheel on a
trail for the beast. Toy got receipts and a pocket full of names, and we busting out truths like we blowing out flames.
Eastbound and down, chat rats rolling heavy. Truth on our tailgate, justice riding steady. Mic in our hand and the signs all red. Ain't no lies slipping past what the chat rats said.
Playlist, angels taking charge, law leans on the mic and her notes hit hard. Mary B's lifted but she's sharper than attack. Dean's dropping questions while he's rolling in his Cadillac.
Breaker, rap mama here, got eyeballs on that shady scene. Y'all ready? Light it up, rats. 10, 4, 20. Northbound and bold, truth in the backseat. Chat rats got that heat, can't be beat. From the chat rats lounge to the courthouse